Chapter 4201. Tens of thousands of humans were strangely quiet at this moment. Countless pairs of eyes were filled with worship and respect as they looked at the figure in front of them that did not seem imposing, but was as tall as a pyramid. Under the calm leadership of Xie Yunpeng and Wu Chongtian, tens of thousands of humans bowed to Jiang Chen in unison and did not get up for a long time. At this moment, thousands of words of gratitude were useless. In this world, there were no beautiful words to describe their gratitude to Jiang Chen. This was the true hero of the human race. Jiang Chen's appearance had saved the entire human race of the Crimson East region. Today's Battle of Crimson Mountain would be recorded in the history of the entire Crimson East region. The name Jiang Chen would also be engraved like a monument. From today onwards, statues of Jiang Chen's image would be built in all the cities of the Crimson East region. Jiang Chen's figure was destined to become the symbol of the entire Crimson East region. Jiang Chen and De Huang Dog sighed endlessly, especially De Huang Dog. His restless heart could not stop. This was his and Jiang Chen's first stop in the eternal world, and it had ended in the most perfect manner. Wherever Jiang Chen went, he would leave behind his own legend and be admired by future generations. City Lord, Sect Leader, you don't have to do this. I, Jiang Chen, am a member of the human race. I naturally have to do something for the human race. Jiang Chen said with a smile. Brother Jiang Chen, if it were not for you, how could the human race of the Crimson East region have achieved such a great victory today? The human race of the Crimson East region will always remember Brother Jiang Chen's great kindness. As the head of the Martial Pavilion and the leader of the human race, it had always been Wu Chongtian's dream to annihilate the Feather Clan and allow the human race to truly become the masters of this land. Reality had proven that if it wasn't for Jiang Chen in today's battle, the human race would have been destroyed under his leadership. If that had happened, he would not have been able to truly rest in peace even if he died as the head of the Martial Pavilion. All right, now that the war is over, the humans need to recuperate. We can go home now. The remaining Feather Race members are no longer a threat to the humans. We can take our time to clear them out. Jiang Chen said. All right, let's head back. Wu Chongtian waved his hand, and the human race army left the Chilling Mountain in a majestic manner. Everyone's faces were brimming with smiles. This could be considered a great victory for the human race. The human race didn't suffer any major losses. They only suffered some casualties when Jiang Chen wasn't present. However, in such a huge war between races, the number of casualties was nothing. Moreover, from today onwards, the human race had completely become the masters of the Crimson East region, dominating the entire region. The next day, the Divine Martial City was decorated with lanterns and streamers. The whole world was celebrating. 99 cities in the Crimson East region were all celebrating. The Crimson East region had ushered in an unprecedented great turning point. Inside the Martial Pavilion, on the Purple Pill Pavilion, Jiang Chen was leisurely lying on a rattan chair, looking very relaxed. Xiaolong and De Huang Dog were playing in the courtyard, making a lot of noise. Jiang Chen's eyes fell on Xiaolong. Ever since this freak's cultivation began to improve, it was as if his bloodline had been developed. His entire person became lively. What kind of physique does this little guy have? Even I can't figure it out at all. Jiang Chen sighed. He was extremely curious about Xiaolong's physique and bloodline, but with his eyesight, he couldn't figure it out at all. However, based on Jiang Chen's experience, Xiaolong's bloodline was definitely supreme. At least, it had never appeared in the previous world. Even in this eternal world, it was almost unique. Moreover, Xiaolong's body contained a certain degree of violence, which could be seen from the battle on Mount Chilling. What was certain was that Xiaolong had never experienced any fighting before, at least not before he met Jiang Chen. Xiaolong's change was after he entered the Martial Pavilion and began to cultivate. He was a completely different person. Tearing a winged man apart was not something an ordinary person could do. Nameless physique, but he will definitely become a great person in the future. Jiang Chen thought to himself. He didn't know what kind of physique Xiaolong belonged to, so he could only call it nameless physique. This physique was special. Apart from its self-recovery ability, it also brought great enhancement to Xiaolong's body. Xiaolong, come here. Jiang Chen waved at Xiaolong. Big brother. Xiaolong leaped up and arrived in front of Jiang Chen. Xiaolong had no relatives other than his grandfather. Jiang Chen was the person he was most grateful and admired. Children's thoughts were very simple. Xiaolong knew that the man in front of him was the big brother he respected the most. Jiang Chen had changed his name, so he would listen to his big brother for the rest of his life. Xiaolong, how about going to the Qizhong region with big brother? Jiang Chen asked. He planned to go to the Qizhong region next. He and a Huang dog were free and unfettered, so they didn't need to bring many people with them. After all, it would be troublesome to bring them along. Moreover, they were going to look for Long Shersan. Long Shersan had not appeared since he disappeared in the broken Feilu stream. Jiang Chen guessed that Long Shersan must be in the Qizhong region. After all, the broken Feilu stream was also the territory of the Qizhong region. Now that such a big thing had happened in the Qizhong region, but Long Shersan had not appeared. This meant that Long Shersan was definitely not in the Qizhong region. Jiang Chen guessed that Long Shersan would definitely appear in the Qizhong region. In addition to Long Shersan, there was no news of his son, Jiang Feng. His two brothers, Pangu and Hongjun, were also missing. Jiang Chen still had many things to do in the eternal world. As for Xiaolong, Jiang Chen planned to bring him along. This treasure boy wouldn't have much development if he stayed in the Qizhong region. He was a peerless genius who could fight side by side with him and dominate the eternal world in the future. The bigger the stage, the more beneficial it was for Xiaolong's growth. Okay, wherever Big Brother goes, Xiaolong will go. Xiaolong was extremely excited. In his opinion, there was nothing happier than following Jiang Chen. In Xiaolong's heart, Jiang Chen was an omnipotent hero who was worshipped by tens of thousands of people. Following Jiang Chen made him feel proud. At that moment, Fu came out of the room with a cup of tea. When he heard that Jiang Chen wanted to bring Xiaolong to the Qizhong region, Fu's expression suddenly changed. Uncle Fu, is there something you can't say? Jiang Chen's ability to read people's expressions was amazing. An ordinary person like Fu wouldn't be able to escape Jiang Chen's eyes if he felt the slightest bit uncomfortable under Jiang Chen's gaze. Moreover, Jiang Chen recalled that when he first left the land of exile, he had asked Fu about their origins and how they had entered the land of exile. At that time, Fu had wanted to say something but had hesitated. He had only said that they were from the Qizhong region and nothing else. Now, it seemed that there was indeed something difficult to say. Fu wanted to say something but hesitated. A difficult expression appeared on his face. Uncle Fu, I don't want to go back. I want to go to the Qizhong region with Big Brother. Xiaolong looked at Fu and took the initiative to speak. To Jiang Chen's surprise, Xiaolong had changed the way he addressed Fu from grandfather to Uncle Fu. Chapter 4202. Jiang Chen narrowed his eyes. The change in how Xiaolong addressed Fu had piqued Jiang Chen's interest once again. What's going on? Jiang Chen asked. Young master might not know this, but after Xiaolong came to the martial pavilion and received guidance from the sect master, it was as if he had opened up a channel in his body. His cultivation advanced by leaps and bounds, and it was precisely because he thought he could cultivate that Xiaolong recovered his memories on the second day. Fu let out a sigh. Recovered his memories? What's going on? Jiang Chen furrowed his brows. It seemed that Xiaolong's background was much more complicated than he had imagined. All right, young master, listen to me slowly. I didn't plan on telling you this at first. After Xiaolong lost his memories, this old man only hoped that he could live a peaceful life. Not remembering the past is a blessing for him. I never thought that Xiaolong's talent would be so great, and he even recovered his memories, so I won't hide it from him. Xiaolong was originally the crown prince of the Yunqiu country in the Scarlet South region. Fu let out a heavy sigh and continued. His Highness was a child with a hard life. The Empress passed away as soon as he was born, but the Emperor still treasured this child very much. He stood his ground and made Xiaolong the crown prince. Unfortunately, His Highness was born weak and sickly, unable to cultivate normally even when he was 7 or 8 years old. He was basically a cripple. You must know that there is no familial love in the royal family, and His Highness did not have any backing to begin with. This naturally aroused the jealousy and dissatisfaction of the other princes. Gradually, even the Emperor lost hope in His Highness, but in consideration of the relationship between father and son, he still preserved His Highness' status as crown prince. When the princes fought for power, His Highness was obviously the first to be sacrificed. The sixth prince had the greatest talent and the greatest influence out of all the princes. The sixth prince had the greatest ambition, and the greater his achievements, the more His Highness Xiaolong would become his stumbling block. In the end, the sixth prince could not help but take action against Xiaolong. He had the support of a heavenly origin expert, so he set up a trap for His Highness Xiaolong. However, directly killing a crown prince wasn't a good thing after all, so they forcefully wiped away his memories, teleporting me and His Highness to the land of exile to fend for themselves. I watched His Highness grow up. Although he was young, he suffered so much. I thought that since His Highness had lost his painful memories, it might not be a bad thing, so I asked Xiaolong to call me grandfather. Fortunately, we met young master in the city of 10,000 evil. Otherwise, the two of us would have been buried in the land of exile. Previously, when young master asked me about it on Mount Chiliang, I didn't dare to answer. Firstly, I didn't want Xiaolong to bring up the past. Secondly, young master's cultivation wasn't high enough, so even if you knew, it would be useless. Now that His Highness has recovered his memories and is a peerless genius, young master is a hero of the human race, and has tens of thousands of beasts under your command. I beg young master to uphold justice for His Highness. Tears streamed down Fu's face as he spoke. He even knelt on the ground and kowtowed to Jiang Chen 3 times. Uncle Fu, please rise. Jiang Chen waved his hand to help Fu up. It was rare to see such a loyal servant. Uncle Fu, no, grandfather, from now on, you are still my grandfather. I have nothing to do with Yunqiu country anymore. I don't want to go back, Xiaolong said, holding Fu's hand tightly. Although he said that, Jiang Chen could still see a trace of unwillingness in Xiaolong's eyes. Or rather, it was a strong unwillingness. It was clear that Xiaolong's past experiences in Yunqiu country had caused great damage to his heart. Jiang Chen nodded his head. He couldn't help but praise Xiaolong. The fact that Xiaolong was able to call Fu grandpa once again showed that this little fellow was a man who valued friendship and friendship. He didn't have the arrogance and noble heart of a crown prince. Xiaolong, come here. Jiang Chen waved at Xiaolong. Xiaolong came in front of Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen placed his hand on Xiaolong's head and said, "The cruelty of this world is far beyond your imagination. What we have to do is to have the determination not to give in. We have to take back what belongs to us. What you have to take back isn't your status, but your justice. If you can't get your justice back, then the memory of what happened in the past will be forever rooted in your heart, like a thorn. If you want to remove this thorn, you have to." Xiaolong came to Jiang Chen's front. "If you want to remove this thorn, you must go back and take back what originally belonged to you. Otherwise, this thorn will become the biggest obstacle in your path in the future. Do you understand?" "Yes, thank you for your guidance, big brother." Xiaolong understands. "I want to go back and take back what I lost. I don't want the crown prince's status. I want justice." Xiaolong nodded heavily, and his eyes instantly became sharp. "Very good. I'll let you fight for this justice yourself." Jiang Chen patted Xiaolong's head in satisfaction, then looked at Fu. "Uncle Fu, let me ask you, how is the sixth prince's cultivation?" "He's a first-rate genius in the Scarlet South region. His cultivation is probably similar to the first young master of the Yu clan. When he framed us, he was already at the 8th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm. He's probably at the peak of the 8th heavenly layer now, not far from the 9th heavenly layer," Fu said. Looking at Xiaolong's cultivation, it seemed that it was still far from the 9th heavenly layer. "Yes, there's no hurry. Xiaolong can surpass him in 2 months," Jiang Chen said with incomparable confidence. He had changed his mind now. He was not in a hurry to go to the Scarlet Middle region. He would go to the Scarlet South region first to settle the matter with Xiaolong before going to the Scarlet Middle region. At that time, he would respect Xiaolong's choice if Xiaolong wanted to leave with him or stay in the Yunqiu country as the crown prince. In 2 months, Jiang Chen was confident that he could raise Xiaolong to the 7th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm. With Xiaolong's miraculous constitution, it would be a piece of cake for the 7th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm to fight against the 8th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm. If it was someone else, Jiang Chen naturally would not dare to boast about advancing from the 1st heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm to the 7th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm in 2 months. But Xiaolong was different. This little monster had only used less than a month to advance to the Earth Source realm. And judging from Xiaolong's aura, the benefits of bloodline stimulation were far from over. Although his cultivation speed would be greatly reduced at the Earth Source realm, it would not be a problem for him to advance in 2 months with Jiang Chen's help. Jiang Chen and a Huang dog needed time to continue growing. Their cultivation was far from enough to go to the Scarlet Middle region. However, the progress of their cultivation could not be estimated with common sense. Jiang Chen's goal was for him, De Huang Dog, and Xiaolong to reach the 7th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm in 2 months. And in the past 2 months, almost 1,000 of the demons in the Dragon Palace would recover to the heavenly source realm. It would not be a problem for the Black King to recover to the 3rd heavenly layer of the heavenly source realm. Only when one's individual strength and overall strength became stronger would they be able to walk further and further in the future. Chapter 4203. For a cultivation ancestor like Jiang Chen, it was not difficult to raise his cultivation in 2 months. Most importantly, Xiaolong and the others were just too powerful, ridiculously powerful. Alchemy, adventuring, heavenly resources, they had everything. With Jiang Chen's current status, he could use all the resources of the human race as he wished. In just 2 short months, the results were just as Jiang Chen had expected. He, De Huang Dog, and Xiaolong had all reached the 7th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm. There was no need to mention Jiang Chen and De Huang Dog. A resolute look appeared on Xiaolong's young face, and his eyes became even colder. Xiaolong had experienced countless battles and life-and-death battles in the past 2 months. His battle experience was much richer than ordinary cultivators who had cultivated for decades. Jiang Chen had also taught Xiaolong several battle skills. Xiaolong could choose any battle skill from the martial pavilion, and Jiang Chen had personally used the God of Craftsmanship's chart to create a nameless sword for Xiaolong to use as his life-bound weapon. Tears streamed down Fu's face when he saw Xiaolong's transformation. When he had been transported to the land of exile, Fu had never dreamed that Xiaolong would have such a day. All of this seemed like a dream to him. Apart from Jiang Chen and the others, the Dragon Palace had also undergone earth-shattering changes. In the past 2 months, at least 1,000 heavenly source experts had appeared. If such a huge lineup were to be released, the impact would be unimaginable. The Black King had even reached the 3rd heavenly layer of the heavenly source realm. With his abilities, he would even dare to kill 4th heavenly layer heavenly source experts. To put it bluntly, if Jiang Chen led thousands of beasts over, let alone the Yunqiu country, even the entire Crimson South region would have to submit. Let's go to the Crimson South region, Jiang Chen said. All right. Xiaolong's aura shook. When he returned this time, he would definitely shock the entire Yunqiu country. Xiaolong wanted to return double the damage that the 6th prince had done to him. He wanted to take back what belonged to him with his own hands and give him justice. Jiang Chen brought De Huang Dog, Xiaolong, and Fu to prepare to leave the Crimson East region the next day. On this day, all the familiar people of the Xinwu city came to send Jiang Chen off, because they all knew that Jiang Chen would never come back once he left. As the saying goes, dragons swim in the ocean and phoenixes soar in the 9 heavens. Jiang Chen didn't belong to a small place like Red East region. A man like him would definitely go to a bigger stage. What Jiang Chen had left behind was glory, a glory that would never be erased. The next morning, outside Xinwu City, Xie Yunpeng, Wu Changtian, Yun Xinan, Zhen Yang, Dan Qingzi, Xie Ting, Chen Yiren, Nie Xiaoying, Ji Tianch. Everyone who was familiar with Jiang Chen came out of the city to see him off. Go back. We'll meet again in the pugilistic world. Jiang Chen left after saying that. Looking at the figure in the void getting further and further away, everyone's mood was stuck. Chen Yiren and Nie Xiaoying's eyes shone with a strange light. Which girl didn't yearn for love? No girl could resist Jiang Chen's image, even the arrogant Chen Yiren. But both of them knew that Jiang Chen and they were not from the same world. Jiang Chen was only a passerby here. Yiren. Forget him as soon as possible. Yun Xinan sighed. He had originally planned to let Chen Yiren fetch Jiang Chen's bride, but now it seemed that there was no chance. A person like Jiang Chen was destined to have his own matters. Godfather, what are you saying? In my heart, master is worthy of respect. Chen Yiren blushed. Pass down the order. Statues of Jiang Chen are to be built in all 99 cities of the Crimson East region. Although Jiang Chen has left, he will still be revered by the people of the Crimson East region for generations to come. Wu Changtian said. He is worthy of such glory. Xie Yunping nodded. He was more grateful to Jiang Chen than anyone else here. Jiang Chen had truly saved his life in the city lord's mansion. I must work hard to cultivate and go to the Crimson Middle region as soon as possible to follow in Master's footsteps. Xie Ting clenched his fists, his eyes filled with determination. Jiang Chen would be the idol he would follow for the rest of his life. He would be his greatest goal in the future. Good son. Dad has high hopes for you. Xie Yunpeng patted Xie Ting's shoulder. This son of his was also his pride, his supreme glory. The group lingered outside the city for a while longer. Jiang Chen's figure had completely disappeared. Since then, the Crimson East region's matter had been completely resolved. Jiang Chen left the Crimson East region and went to the Crimson South region to settle Xiaolong's matter. After that, he would go to the Crimson Middle region, the real stage of the Crimson Cloud Star boundary. The Crimson East region and the Crimson South region were hundreds of millions of miles apart. The distance between the two regions was like a heavenly tribulation. It was too far. This was also the reason why the two regions were almost like a separate world. With Jiang Chen's cultivation, it would take at least 3 months to fly from the Crimson East region to the Crimson South region. However, Jiang Chen had the Sky Ascending Stairway. Naturally, it was a shortcut. Relying on the Sky Ascending Stairway, it only took Jiang Chen 2 days to reach the boundary of the Crimson South region. The Sky Ascending Stairway is really useful. It's a pity that it's only a broken piece. If I could get another piece, its effect would at least be several times stronger. Jiang Chen sighed. A treasure like the Sky Ascending Stairway was really too perfect. Of course, he wasn't greedy. It was already quite good to get a piece of the Sky Ascending Stairway. As for the rest of the Sky Ascending Stairway, it would be up to fate. It was also proven that the Sky Ascending Stairway had helped Jiang Chen a lot in the Crimson East region. Without the Sky Ascending Stairway, it would have been impossible for him to achieve so much in such a short period of time and deal with the Yu clan in the Crimson East region so quickly. In fact, without the help of the Sky Ascending Stairway, Jiang Chen's life would have been in danger several times. Not only could he come and go freely in the land of exile, but Zhao Lingxiao's sneak attack when he just came out of the Star Lord's ruins could have taken his life. In Jiang Chen's heart, the Sky Ascending Stairway had become the most precious treasure. Not only was it useful in the past, but it would also be of great use in the future. He intended to collect all the remaining pieces of the Sky Ascending Stairway, but it was up to fate. I never thought that I would be able to return to the Crimson South region again. Fu's eyes were filled with tears. He naturally had a fundamental attachment to the Crimson South region. After all, his entire life was here. When he was sent to the land of exile by the sixth prince, Fu had already lost all hope. He never dreamed that he would have the chance to return to the Crimson South region in this lifetime. Uncle Fu, lead the way. We will go directly to the Yunqiu country. Chapter 4204. All right. Fu nodded as excitement appeared on his face. He knew of Jiang Chen's abilities. He had destroyed the entire Yu clan in the Crimson East region all by himself and could practically sweep across the entire Crimson South region. Therefore, Fu was not afraid of anything this time. He did not need to be afraid at all. The ones who should be afraid should be the sixth prince and the others. Those who had hurt him and Xiaolong previously would be trembling in fear this time. Under Fu's lead, Jiang Chen and the others quickly arrived at the Yunqiu country. Jiang Chen's goal was very clear. He did not care about anything in the Yunqiu country, and directly brought Xiaolong to the imperial capital. At this moment, in the Crown Prince's palace in the imperial capital of the Yunqiu country. The magnificent Crown Prince's palace was originally where Xiaolong lived, but now that the owner had changed, the current Crown Prince's palace was even more luxurious than before. It had clearly been decorated. After the sixth prince got rid of Xiaolong, his wish was fulfilled. On the 5th day after Xiaolong's disappearance, he was reinstated as the Crown Prince and moved into the Crown Prince's palace, becoming the new owner. In the main hall of the Crown Prince's palace, a handsome young man held an alluring beauty in his arms. The hall was filled with singing and dancing, and the guests of the Crown Prince's palace sat on both sides. At this moment, the sixth prince, no, the Crown Prince, could be said to be riding on the crest of success. In the entire Yunqiu country, he was the future ruler of the country and had countless riches, beauties, and everything that one could wish for. Your Highness, you will definitely lead our Yunqiu country to the pinnacle in the future. That's right, the Crown Prince is truly a dragon among men and a natural ruler. The future of our Yunqiu country will depend on the Crown Prince. I suggest that we toast the Crown Prince together. All right, in the future, we will follow the Crown Prince and enjoy endless glory, splendor, and wealth. A group of guests were sucking up to the Crown Prince, and there was no lack of heavenly source experts among them. Now that the Crown Prince was like the sun in the sky, His future achievements would definitely be limitless. If nothing unexpected happened, the future ruler of the Yunqiu country would definitely be the crown prince. If they did not take advantage of this time to curry favor with the crown prince, it would be too late when the crown prince became the emperor. Sure. The crown prince raised his wine glass and drank it in one gulp. Master, I don't know why, but I feel uneasy today. The crown prince put down his cup and gestured for the beauty in his arms to leave. Afterwards, he looked at an old man beside him. The old man's hair and beard were all white, making him seem like a banished immortal. His cultivation was also extremely powerful, having reached the second heavenly layer of heavenly origin. Even the crown prince had to be respectful to him, not daring to show the slightest bit of disrespect. It was no wonder that the crown prince was able to do so well in the Yunqiu kingdom. Even a second heavenly layer heavenly origin expert was willing to follow him. There was nothing the crown prince couldn't do in the tiny Scarlet South region. One had to know that even the current emperor had to treat a second heavenly layer heavenly origin expert with respect. I'm used to living like a prince, so it's inevitable that I'm a little unstable. Don't worry, Master is here. Even if the sky collapses, Master is here to support it, the old man said. Obviously, he attached great importance to Gao Dang's disciple. Rumble. At this moment, a muffled sound suddenly rang out from outside. It was so loud that the wine on the table began to sway and splatter. What happened? The crown prince suddenly stood up and shouted. He knew that something must have happened since he was feeling uneasy. However, he wanted to see who would be so daring as to come to his territory and behave so atrociously. At this moment, a guard with a swollen face rushed in frantically. He clutched his face as he yelled, "Your Highness, it's bad. The crown prince has returned. It's the crown prince, it's the crown prince." What crown prince? Where did this crown prince come from? There's only one crown prince in the Yunqiu kingdom. Who else dares to call themselves crown prince other than me? The crown prince's face turned cold as he angrily retorted. It's me. As soon as the crown prince finished speaking, a young and tender voice rang out. Everyone turned to look and saw a young man with a strong physique walking in with vigorous steps. Xiaolong could naturally be described as well-built. Having reached the seventh heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm, he had undergone a tremendous change compared to when he first started. Not only had he grown much taller, he had also become extremely muscular. His body was like a dragon, filled with explosive power with every movement. At this moment, Xiaolong was holding two guards in each of his hands as he glared at the crown prince. His eyes were filled with hatred as he stared at the crown prince. Xiaolong. The crown prince's expression immediately changed when he saw Xiaolong, as if he had seen a ghost. Although Xiaolong's appearance had changed, the crown prince could still recognize him with a single glance. This was too shocking. The crown prince could not believe it at all. The person he thought was already dead had appeared before him, alive and well. This must be a dream. Sixth brother, you must be very surprised to see me return. Xiaolong sneered and casually threw the two guards to the ground. They were covered in blood as they lay there motionless, as if they were cripples. Brat, how dare you kill the people of the crown prince's palace? One of them stood up and pointed at Xiaolong. In reality, there was not a single person present who did not know Xiaolong. After all, they were currently in someone else's territory. At this moment, everyone in the crown prince's palace, including the crown prince's master, was extremely shocked. They could not believe what they had just seen, especially the crown prince's master. He had personally sent Xiaolong and Fu to the land of exile. This was something he was certain of. With Fu and Xiaolong's abilities, they would definitely die in the land of exile. Even if they did not die, it would be impossible for them to walk out alive. What was even more shocking was that the little piece of trash who could not cultivate had appeared in front of them, a seventh heavenly layer Earth Source expert in such a short amount of time. A 12-year-old seventh heavenly layer Earth Source expert was a peerless monster. There was not a single one like him in the entire Crimson South region. A fortuitous encounter. It had to be a fortuitous encounter. This kid's life was just too good. My own dogs, yet they tried to stop me from entering. I'm already being considerate of our past relationship by not killing them directly. Chapter 4205. How did you get out of the land of exile? The crown prince's face was filled with shock as he shouted. What? Are you afraid? Or are you afraid that I'll report you to father and let him know what you've done? Xiaolong sneered. The Crown Prince's face darkened. Xiaolong was right. He was indeed afraid. Since young, although Xiaolong couldn't cultivate, the Emperor had never given up on him. The Crown Prince didn't know that the Crown Prince had framed Xiaolong. If he knew, he would definitely be furious. In reality, what the Crown Prince was truly afraid of was not the secret of him framing Xiaolong, but Xiaolong's current cultivation. He had gone from a piece of trash who could not cultivate to the 7th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm in such a short amount of time. It was hard to imagine how he had done it. It was probably not as simple as a fortuitous encounter. If the Emperor knew about such terrifying talent, his attitude towards Xiaolong would definitely change greatly. At that time, the Crown Prince would not even have a place in the Yunqiu country. However, what made the Crown Prince relax was that Xiaolong had directly come to seek revenge after returning, and did not report him to the Emperor. "Brother, your appearance has indeed surprised me." "Brother, I'm really surprised that you're here." "You're right. I'm afraid because your growth is too shocking. It's a pity that you're still too young. If you secretly came back to find father, he would be incomparably happy to see your growth. It's a pity that you're swayed by your emotions and came to find me for revenge. Today, don't even think about leaving the Crown Prince Palace. Whether you come back or not, the result will be the same. Father won't know." The Crown Prince mocked. Since he had already done it once, he did not care about it a second time. He no longer cared about brotherly love. All he cared about now was his bright future. Now that Xiaolong had appeared again, the Crown Prince immediately saw him as a thorn in his side. He had to get rid of him. The things he had done could not be spread, or the consequences would be unimaginable. The atmosphere in the palace began to change. Layers of killing intent began to fill the air. The white-haired elder released his aura, almost sealing off the entire Crown Prince Palace. As for what had happened to Xiaolong in the land of exile and why he had suddenly become so powerful, it was no longer important. The most important thing right now was to get rid of him to prevent any future troubles. "Brat, die." A burly man was the first to act. His cultivation was at the peak of the 8th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm. He had the lowest cultivation and status in the hall. People like this were even more eager to show off in front of their master. His state was swift and decisive. His sandbag-sized fist carried a cold wind that could tear everything apart as it smashed towards the small dragon. The burly man's face was twisted, not concealing his killing intent at all. In his eyes, a 7th heavenly layer Earth Source expert was not even a single move from him. A single punch from him was enough to blow his head apart. As long as he could kill Xiaolong, it would be equivalent to removing the Crown Prince's greatest threat. Wouldn't it be a long time before he would be able to prosper in the future? Pah! However, when the fist was half a foot away from Xiaolong's head, it stopped completely. Xiaolong grabbed the burly man's wrist. No matter how hard the burly man struggled, he could not budge at all. Xiaolong's palm was like a pair of iron pincers, firmly locking onto the burly man. "What?" The burly man was shocked. He did not expect Xiaolong to be so strong. "Gotcha, arg!" A miserable shriek rang out. The burly man's arm had been forcefully snapped by Xiaolong, causing him to bend over in pain. Xiaolong did not give him any chance. He smashed his fist into the man's back. The 8th heavenly layer Earth Source burly man did not even manage to put up any resistance. He was easily killed by Xiaolong. The entire place fell silent. Everyone was dumbfounded. Even the Crown Prince's master, the white-haired old man, was stunned. Had this kid actually become so terrifying? Spectacular, spectacular. Cheers could be heard from outside. A young man dressed in white walked in leisurely. Beside him was a big yellow dog that looked as majestic as a bull, and an old man. Who else could it be but a Fu? "Who are you?" The Crown Prince balked. "Who I am isn't important. What's important is that I'm here to help Xiaolong and get justice for him." Jiang Chen spoke. He had witnessed Xiaolong's ferocity earlier, so it could be said that he admired the little guy very much. "Humph, just you?" The white-haired old man snorted coldly. He did not take this uninvited guest seriously at all. Even though Xiaolong's actions had shocked him, the old man did not take him seriously at all. In his eyes, an ant was still an ant no matter how big it was. What could it do before absolute strength? "That's right, just me." Jiang Chen glanced at the old man. He did not seem to care at all. Without a doubt, this indifference had hurt the old man's dignity. As the master of the Crown Prince and a 2nd heavenly layer heavenly origin expert, There was no one in the Yunqiu kingdom who dared to be so rude to him. Is that so? How do you plan on helping him? The old man narrowed his eyes. His killing intent did not decrease. It's simple. Let Xiaolong and the Crown Prince fight to the death on the decisive arena. Jiang Chen nonchalantly said. His main goal in coming back this time was for Xiaolong to personally get justice for him. So he did not complain to the emperor and directly came to the Crown Prince's hall. The Crown Prince had framed Xiaolong in private. So Xiaolong obviously wanted to resolve their grievances in private. If the emperor stepped forward, it would not be so easy to resolve. The Crown Prince's face could not help but twitch when he heard this. If he had to fight someone at the 7th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm, he would definitely look down on it. When Xiaolong had first appeared, the Crown Prince had been surprised, but he did not take him seriously at all. However, after personally witnessing Xiaolong's strength, the Crown Prince's attitude had completely changed. If he was asked to fight Xiaolong on the decisive arena, he probably would not even have the courage to do so. The Crown Prince was at the peak of the 8th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm, but due to his outstanding talent, even ordinary 9th heavenly layer Earth Source experts were not his opponent. Xiaolong was strong, but it would not be easy for him to defeat the Crown Prince. However, given the current situation, it didn't seem like there was any need for him to pay attention to Jiang Chen's suggestion. After all, this was his territory, and there were many powerful warriors here. He was the Crown Prince, so why would he do something he wasn't confident in? What a joke. What right do you have to negotiate with me? This is the Crown Prince's hall. As long as I give the order, you'll immediately turn to dust. Chapter 4206. Whether I have the qualifications or not isn't up to you to decide. It's also not up to you to decide whether I can enter the arena. It's still up to me. Jiang Chen was calm and unruffled. The heavenly origin experts before him were not even worth mentioning in his eyes. Let alone the fact that he had killed over 1,000 heavenly origin realm beasts. He could easily kill a first heavenly layer heavenly origin expert with his own abilities if he went all out. How arrogant. I'd like to see just what gives you the right to be so arrogant. Capture them, dead or alive. The Crown Prince was so angry that he laughed. He had seen arrogant people before, but he had never seen someone as arrogant as the Crown Prince. In other words, he had never seen someone as arrogant as the Crown Prince in Yunqiu country. Boom! Under the Crown Prince's command, a first heavenly layer heavenly source elder was the first to move. His body began to casually ripple, flipping over the surrounding tables. Waves of air surged out as the elder reached out with his hand, grabbing towards Jiang Chen with lightning speed. Countless people were smiling at the close-range attack of a heavenly source expert. There were basically no surprises. This grab would definitely crush that reckless fellow's head. There was basically no doubt about this. Jiang Chen stood there with one hand behind his back. He did not even bat an eyelid in the face of a heavenly source expert's attack, nor did he make any movements to dodge. He completely treated the elder as if he did not exist. You're courting death. The elder was extremely angry. He was a mighty heavenly source expert. There was no one in the entire Crimson South region that dared to look down on him. The elder ground his teeth, swearing that he would definitely take Jiang Chen's head. Jiang Chen naturally had his reasons for not moving. He did not need to move at all. If he wanted to intimidate the Crown Prince today, his own strength was far from enough. He needed the Black King to appear as well. With a flash of black light, a black figure suddenly appeared out of nowhere, without any prior signs of life. The moment the black figure appeared, demon chi surged into the sky, filling the entire hall with layers of pressure. If it were not for the fact that the pressure was being controlled, the entire hall would have been flipped upside down. Bang! The black figure threw a punch after appearing, landing heavily on the elder's arm. Ah! A miserable shriek rang out as everyone saw a bloody mist. The first heavenly layer heavenly origin old man's entire arm had been shattered, turning into a bloody mist that filled the air with the pungent smell of blood. The old man who had lost his arm fell to the ground and screamed in pain. At this time, people finally saw the appearance of the black shadow. It was a man who was as strong as an iron tower. He wore a black armor and had a resolute and fierce face. The word king was faintly discernible between his eyebrows. It was a tiger demon. A third heavenly layer heavenly source tiger demon was so powerful that even the current emperor would not be its opponent. To put it bluntly, this black tiger alone could sweep away all the experts in the Red South region. Qualification? This was the qualification. So strong. A third heavenly layer heavenly source tiger demon. Even the strongest expert of the Yunqiu country wouldn't be its opponent. How does this guy have such powerful assistants? Just who is he? It's over. With such an expert here, we can't resist at all. It seems like the Crown Prince and the Little Crown Prince will have to fight on the decisive battle platform today. Everyone's expressions changed. The other two first heavenly layer heavenly source experts who had originally planned on fighting could not help but take 2 steps back under the pressure of the Black King. They felt their mouths go dry, no longer daring to fight. Your Highness, I've already said that it's not up to you to decide whether I have the qualification or not. It's up to me. Jiang Chen took a step forward and glared at the Crown Prince. Lang Lang said, "Sixth Prince, I'll make Xiaolong pay for the harm you've caused him. I'll make him seek justice for himself. Although killing you would be as easy as crushing an ant to me, I still respect Xiaolong's wishes. I'll give you 2 choices right now. First, go on the decisive battle platform. Life and death are up to the heavens. Second, I'll have the Black King kill everyone here. In reality, you don't seem to have the right to choose, nor do you expect anyone to save you. Let alone a master like you. Even if the strongest expert of the Red South region comes, you'll still die if I want to kill you." Jiang Chen's words were extremely intimidating. His tone was firm and unquestionable, making it impossible for anyone to doubt the veracity of his words. The entire hall fell silent as everyone's gazes landed on the Crown Prince. Even the white-haired old man who had been incomparably arrogant earlier was now completely listless. With the Black King here, he couldn't even sense his presence at all. He had a feeling that if he were to make a move, the Black King would be able to instantly crush him to death. As a result, even he could not help the Crown Prince in this matter. Just as Jiang Chen had said, they had no right to choose. All right, I'll go on the decisive battle platform. The Crown Prince gritted his teeth. No matter how unwilling he was, he had no choice but to agree. This was his only chance. After all, what Jiang Chen said wasn't an exaggeration. If Jiang Chen wanted to kill him, it would be as easy as killing an ant. What if I win? The Crown Prince asked. If you win, you will continue to be the Crown Prince. I will leave Yunqiu country and never come back. Of course, if you have the ability to kill me, Big Brother will not make things difficult for you. I can only blame myself for not being strong enough, Xiaolong said. His entire body was filled with the desire to fight. His fists were clenched so tightly that cracking sounds could be heard. It could be seen that the Crown Prince had once left a deep scar in his heart. As Xiaolong said, as long as you have the ability to defeat me, I will not make things difficult for you. Jiang Chen said that it was a battle of life and death. However, when he said it, it seemed like he was talking about an extremely ordinary matter. However, when Jiang Chen said the same thing, the Crown Prince and the white-haired old man became even more uncertain. This was because Jiang Chen was too confident. From Jiang Chen's expression, one could not see the slightest ripple. Coupled with the fact that he had seen Xiaolong's ability with his own eyes, there was no reason for the Crown Prince not to be afraid. All right, let's go on the decisive battle platform. The Crown Prince's aura shook and he strode towards the training field of the Crown Prince's palace. Everyone followed closely behind and soon arrived at the huge training field of the Crown Prince's palace. This action naturally alarmed the entire palace. Soon, the entire training field was filled with people. In the center of the training field was a towering battle platform. Usually, it was the training ground for the guards of the Crown Prince's palace. The Crown Prince had never stepped onto it before. No one expected that he would personally step onto the platform today. Oh my God! Isn't that the Little Crown Prince? Didn't he go missing? Why is he back? Yes, I heard that he fell off a cliff during a hunt. The Emperor personally went down the cliff and couldn't find him. He thought he was dead. Look, the Little Crown Prince is so strong. How is this possible? Isn't he unable to cultivate? Many of the servants in the Crown Prince's palace were still the same people. When they saw the Little Crown Prince appear, they were all shocked and couldn't believe it was true. Chapter 4207. The news spread very quickly. The battle between the young Crown Prince and the current Crown Prince was a huge matter in the Yunqiu country. It was impossible to cover it up. Moreover, no one tried to hide it, because the commotion caused by the battle between two earthly source geniuses was enough to shake the entire capital. Powerful presences swept over from the imperial palace. The one leading them wore a dragon robe and was at the third heavenly layer of the heavenly source realm. Although he had just reached the third heavenly layer, he was definitely a peak existence in the tiny Crimson South region. He was the current emperor of the Yunqiu country. You're not dead. The emperor could not hide his excitement when he appeared and saw Xiaolong. Jiang Chen saw all of this. His father was not too bad after all. Greetings, father. The crown prince and Xiaolong bowed to the emperor. You can cultivate now? How can your cultivation be so strong? The emperor's countenance changed. Obviously, he was greatly shocked. Father, I had a fortuitous encounter, so I can cultivate now. I've come back this time to fight sixth brother and see who's more suitable to be the crown prince. Xiaolong said. He did not mention that the crown prince had framed him, which made the crown prince feel relieved. But at the same time, the crown prince could not help but feel shocked. Xiaolong's words showed his confidence in this battle. Xiaolong had said that if he lost, he would still let the crown prince be the crown prince, so he did not say the whole story. He could be considered a man. And the more he did so, the more the crown prince was forced into a dead end. Now that the emperor had appeared, the crown prince only had one chance to save his life, and that was to defeat Xiaolong. If he lost, he would lose everything. That's fine. I promise you that as long as you defeat the crown prince, I will restore your position as crown prince. The emperor said. He wasn't a fool. He could clearly see who was more talented and qualified to inherit the throne. It had only been a short time since Xiaolong started cultivating, but he had actually reached such a height. This was something unimaginable. It would shock the world if word of it got out. That's right. That's right. He would never believe such a monster if he had not seen it with his own eyes. Sixth brother, make your move. We'll do as we said before. Xiaolong Lang looked at the crown prince. He waved his arm, and a terrifying energy swept out. He used the floating cloud palm, which flickered between light and dark, attacking the crown prince. The floating cloud palm was a combat skill that Jiang Chen had selected from the martial pavilion for Xiaolong. Although it was called the floating cloud palm, its offensive and destructive power was truly formidable. An illusory palm print blotted out the sky and covered the earth. The crown prince didn't dare to be careless. He leaped into the air and punched out with an indescribably domineering aura. Your Majesty, the little crown prince is so strong. In my opinion, he must have been suppressed by his bloodline before, which is why he couldn't cultivate. The little crown prince must have a unique and powerful bloodline. The accident last time might have stimulated the little crown prince's bloodline, which is why his cultivation has improved so much. Yeah, but isn't his growth a little too fast? He's at the 7th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm, and his battle prowess seems to be extremely proficient, as if he's an experienced expert. His presence is even stronger than the crown prince, who's a level higher than him. I would never believe it if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. It's our Yunqiu country's fortune that the crown prince is so powerful. The experts beside the emperor were all shocked. They could not help but sigh in amazement when they saw Xiaolong's attack. Not only had his cultivation soared, but his battle experience had also become richer. This had completely exceeded their imaginations. The emperor did not say anything. His brows were tightly knitted together. He felt that this battle was not as simple as he had imagined it to be. With his insight as a heavenly source expert, he could naturally tell that Xiaolong's attacks were extremely sharp, filled with endless rage and killing intent. How was this a competition? This was basically a battle of life and death. Could it be that Long falling off the cliff has something to do with the crown prince? The emperor was not a fool. He had his own guesses. Asterisk rumble. Asterisk waves of air surged on the arena. Xiaolong's floating cloud palm had reached great heights. With just a single move, he had gained the upper hand, suppressing the crown prince. Following that, Xiaolong pressed forward relentlessly, beating up the crown prince until he could only defend, unable to retaliate at all. Countless people were stupefied by this scene. Who could have imagined that the crown prince, who was known as the #1 genius of the Yunqiu country, could not even withstand a single blow from Xiaolong? Or rather, it was not that the crown prince was weak, but that Xiaolong was too strong. The current Xiaolong was like a monster in human form, extremely ferocious. Jiang Chen couldn't help but sigh when he saw all of this. What kind of bloodline do you think this kid has? Isn't it too abnormal? De Huang Dog could not help but ask. Even with his vast knowledge, he could not tell what kind of physique Xiaolong had. It should be a rare physique in the eternal world. We have never seen it before. This kid's future is limitless. Jiang Chen sighed. He felt that he had underestimated Xiaolong's bloodline. On the arena, Xiaolong's attacks became stronger and stronger, not giving the Crown Prince any chance. Blood flowed from the corner of the Crown Prince's mouth, and his aura was in a mess. The white-haired elder could not help but sigh, closing his eyes unwillingly. The outcome was already decided. The Crown Prince was going to lose. Compared to this little monster, the Crown Prince was on a completely different level. The white-haired elder had spent his entire life on the Crown Prince. As long as the Crown Prince could ascend to the throne, his status in the Yunqiu country would rise to an unimaginable height. Unfortunately, all of this would be for naught. The Crown Prince was defeated, utterly defeated. Even if Xiaolong did not kill the Crown Prince, even if Xiaolong did not become the Crown Prince, it would not be the sixth prince's turn. This battle had already shattered the Crown Prince's morale. Even if he did not die, it would be difficult for him to improve his cultivation in the future. How could the Yunqiu country allow a person without morale to become the emperor? Moreover, looking at Xiaolong, even if the Crown Prince did not die today, he would at least lose a layer of skin. On the arena, Xiaolong's aura was unparalleled. The little monster was extremely fierce. With a shake of his arm, the nameless sword appeared in his hand. He raised the sword high and slashed at the Crown Prince. "No!" the Crown Prince exclaimed. He felt a dangerous aura that he had never felt before. In his current state, he would definitely not be able to block Xiaolong's sword. Stop it quickly." Seeing this, the emperor's expression changed drastically. He hurriedly shouted for Xiaolong to stop. He originally thought that it was just a simple duel, and it would be enough to determine the winner. But looking at Xiaolong now, it was not a battle of victory, but a battle of life and death. Chapter 4208. The emperor's voice made Xiaolong's sword stop for a moment, but only for a moment. The sword continued to fall, and the young man's eyes were filled with coldness and ruthlessness. "Quick, stop!" The emperor was shocked. He moved his body and was about to stop him. He could not imagine what his youngest son had experienced during his disappearance. How could he have such a cold and mature temperament at such a young age? Even the countless adult cultivators of the Yunqiu country could not compare to his decisive battle and killing. The emperor was very sad. He did not understand why Xiaolong would kill his brother. No matter what, they were brothers. Whoosh! Just when the emperor was about to stop him, a black figure suddenly appeared in front of him. It was the Black King. "Get out of my way!" The emperor was furious. He could not believe that there was someone who dared to stop him in the Yunqiu country. Boom. However, the Black King erupted with an aura like that of a king. Under this aura, even the heavenly emperor, who was also at the third layer of the heavenly source realm, could not help but keep quiet out of fear. He felt an unparalleled pressure. The emperor's expression changed drastically. He knew that he had encountered a real expert. At this moment, a miserable scream rang out. On the battle platform, the Crown Prince's arm was cut off by Xiaolong. The pampered Crown Prince had never suffered such an injury before. He screamed like a pig being slaughtered. To him, losing an arm was no different from taking his life. "Sixth brother, I've cut off your arm today. The grievances between us are written off. After today, I will leave the Crimson South region and never see you again." Xiaolong looked at the screaming Crown Prince and said Lang Lang. He did not kill the Crown Prince out of consideration for their brotherhood. Jiang Chen secretly nodded. This was a person who valued friendship and righteousness. This was the kind of person that Jiang Chen had his eyes on. In Jiang Chen's view, Xiaolong had achieved his goal this time. The Crown Prince's arm was the justice that Xiaolong wanted. The entire training ground fell silent. Aside from the Crown Prince's blood-curdling screams, everyone else's expressions were unsightly. After all, most of the people here had followed the Crown Prince. Now that they saw the Crown Prince crumble, how could they be happy? This was especially true for those who had followed the Crown Prince to frame the little dragon. No matter what, they would never have imagined that the little trash who could not cultivate, who had always been an ant and a plaything in their eyes, would have a day where he could make a comeback. Furthermore, he was ridiculously strong. "Who are you? Why did you stop me?" The emperor looked at the Black King. He was too curious. There was absolutely no such person in the Red South region. He knew very well how many experts there were in the Red South region. At least, there was no one who could directly suppress him in terms of momentum. The Black King didn't say anything. He turned around and returned to Jiang Chen's side, standing behind Jiang Chen. From this display, even a fool would understand that this powerful heavenly source expert listened to the young man in white. However, just who was this young man in white? Why did he have so much power to make a third heavenly layer heavenly source expert follow him wholeheartedly? This was just too absurd. It must be said that a third heavenly layer heavenly source expert was already an overlord in the Red South region. Emperor, it doesn't matter who I am because I'm just a passerby to the Yunqiu kingdom. Jiang Chen looked at the emperor and said indifferently. Now that he had finished what he needed to do, all he needed to do next was head to the Red Middle region. At this moment, Xiaolong sheathed his sword and arrived before the emperor. He bowed deeply and said, "Father, I've already died once. It was Big Brother who saved me, so I've only returned to do something that I haven't finished yet. Now that it's done, I'll be following Big Brother to the Red Middle region." The emperor's expression changed once again when he heard this. He was not an idiot. Xiaolong's words revealed too much information. The emperor could not help but glance at the crown prince, who had been saved by the crown prince's master, and let out a long sigh. How could the emperor not guess that Xiaolong's disappearance was definitely related to the crown prince, which was why Xiaolong had been so heavy-handed on the battle stage. However, Xiaolong did not reveal the reason or the details to the crown prince. He had left a sliver of face for the crown prince and the emperor of the Yunqiu kingdom. However, this also showed Xiaolong's determination to leave. Even the position of crown prince and the Yunqiu kingdom could not attract Xiaolong's attention. In reality, the emperor understood that Xiaolong's determination to leave was very firm from the moment he refused to reveal the whole story. This was a silent farewell. The Red South region is good. With your talent, the small Red South region should not be able to trap you. You should go to a bigger stage, and the Red South region is undoubtedly the best choice. However, the Red South region is hundreds of millions of miles away, and there are countless dangerous places in between. You must be careful. If your cultivation is successful in the future, remember to come back for a visit." The emperor sighed. Since Xiaolong had already made up his mind, the emperor did not say anything more. Moreover, he had seen Xiaolong's potential and talent today. It was indeed a bit unfair for such a genius to stay in the small Red South region. "I understand. After I leave, I hope that father will treat Uncle Fu well," Xiaolong said. He had to make proper arrangements for Uncle Fu before he left. The White Tiger would definitely hold a grudge against him for what happened today. They could not do anything to him, so it was inevitable that they would vent their anger on Uncle Fu. In the entire Yunqiu kingdom, the only person he could trust was his father. Only a big figure like his father could truly protect Uncle Fu. "Don't worry," the emperor promised. Even so, Xiaolong was still worried. His cold eyes swept over the experts in the Crown Prince's palace, and finally landed on the Crown Prince and the white-haired elder. "Everyone in the Crown Prince's palace, listen carefully. If anything happens to Uncle Fu, I, Xiaolong, will definitely return to the Yunqiu kingdom and settle the score with each and every one of you. I believe that when I return, none of you will be a match for me," Xiaolong Longlong said. He was just a 12-year-old boy, but at this moment, he had endless majesty. The white-haired elder and the others could not help but feel regret in their hearts. The last trace of resentment in their hearts also disappeared. In the future, not only would they not dare to hurt Uncle Fu, but they would also have to think of ways to protect him. Chapter 4209. The Crown Prince lost an arm and was treated by the white-haired elder. The emperor repeatedly invited Jiang Chen and Xiaolong to the imperial palace. Jiang Chen nodded in agreement. After all, no one knew when Xiaolong would return from the Qizhong region. The emperor was a good person. At least, he loved Xiaolong very much. Even when Xiaolong was a cripple, the emperor did not give up on him. He did not even remove him from the crown prince position. In Jiang Chen's eyes, the emperor was not only a ruler of a country, but also a good father. In the emperor's imperial garden, the emperor arranged a banquet table, which could be regarded as his son's farewell. Xiaolong told the emperor about his experience, especially about the land of exile. The emperor could not help but sigh after listening. Although Xiaolong did not mention the crown prince, the emperor was smart enough to guess that the crown prince must have been the reason why Xiaolong was sent to the land of exile. Jiang Chen? The Jiang Chen who destroyed the entire feather clan by himself in the Qidong region? The emperor's eyes widened when he heard the name Jiang Chen, and knew that they came from the Qidong region. Yes, Big Brother led thousands of demons to destroy the entire feather clan in the Qidong region. Father, you didn't see that scene. It was really amazing. Xiaolong was beaming with joy. He had become a naive child again. He was completely different from the little monster with unparalleled combat strength on the battle platform. Oh my God! The emperor was stunned. He no longer had the dignity of an emperor. He looked at Jiang Chen with admiration. He had become a little fan in an instant. I didn't expect my name to have spread to the Qinan region. Jiang Chen smiled helplessly. But this was normal. After all, the Red South domain was also part of the Crimson Afterglow star boundary. Although the Crimson East domain and the Red South domain were far apart, they still kept in touch with each other. It was just that no one would pay attention to ordinary things. However, news of Jiang Chen wiping out the entire feather race single-handedly would naturally spread throughout the Crimson Afterglow Astral. It's not just the Scarlet South region. I'm afraid Brother Jiang Chen's name has already spread to the Scarlet Middle region. After all, this is a matter of extermination. I have to give Brother Jiang a friendly reminder that you'll definitely have a lot of trouble in the Scarlet Middle region. You've exterminated the Feather Clan of a large region. If you go to the Scarlet Middle region, the Feather Clan will definitely not let you off. In the entire Qixia star boundary, the Human Clan and the Feather Clan are enemies. The Feather Clan can be found all over the Qixia star boundary and is very powerful. If I'm not wrong, I'm afraid your name has already entered the kill list of the Feather Clan in the Qixia star boundary. The emperor sighed. It was obvious that he had lowered his attitude very much. Even the title of Zhan had directly changed to I. This was the reality. The path of cultivation was all about the level of one's cultivation. In front of a true expert, a ruler of a country was nothing. For someone like Jiang Chen, if he wanted to, he could destroy the entire Yunqiu country at will. It doesn't matter. Sooner or later, the Feather Clan of the Qixia star boundary will also be destroyed in my hands. Jiang Chen said indifferently. He was not surprised that his name was on the kill list of the Feather Clan of the Qixia star boundary. The Feather Clan always had a way of knowing everything. Back then, when he killed some Feather Clan members in the Broken Filiu, the Feather Clan of the Qixia star boundary knew about it. Moreover, now that he had exterminated the entire Feather Clan of a large region, it would be abnormal if the Feather Clan of the Qixia star boundary did not target him. But did Jiang Chen care? He did not care at all. The pressure from the Feather Clan was a challenge for him on his journey. Jiang Chen had always been fearless, and he did not care about the strength of his enemies. The stronger the enemy, the happier he was. Jiang Chen was now a person with an absolute trump card. Not to mention the stairway to heaven. Just the Dragon Palace alone gave Jiang Chen an unparalleled force. The cultivation of the 10,000 beasts was constantly recovering, and with the strength of the Black King, as long as he was given time, it would not be a problem for him to recover to the level of a Star Lord. Moreover, Jiang Chen had an intuition that as long as his cultivation advanced to the heavenly source realm, it would be possible to open the second floor of the Dragon Palace. The treasures in the second floor would definitely be more powerful. It could be something or the experts who followed Long Futu in the past. To put it bluntly, with the Dragon Palace in hand, Jiang Chen's foundation was almost greater than that of any major force in the entire Qixia star boundary. After all, the Dragon Palace was a treasure left behind by Long Futu. Who was Long Futu? He was a great figure who stood at the peak of the eternal world, a peerless existence that could almost threaten the eternal lord. To put it bluntly, Long Futu could destroy the entire Qixia star boundary with a snap of his fingers. They were not on the same level at all. The Yunqiu Emperor sighed. If it was anyone else who said that they would one day destroy the entire Feather Clan of the Qixia star boundary, he would definitely scoff and treat it as a fart. However, these words came from the mouth of this young man in white, and the Yunqiu Emperor could not tell that he was bragging at all. The Yunqiu Emperor suddenly felt that Xiaolong was really lucky to be able to follow such a person. Brother Jiang, on this journey to the Qixia star boundary, there will be a black wind heavenly territory in between. I'm afraid that it is tens of thousands of miles in circumference. It is filled with natural hurricanes, and it is extremely dangerous to pass through. Brother Jiang Chen, You must be careful. As far as I know, this Black Wind Heavenly Territory is a place that even a Star Lord can't directly pass through. The Yunqiu Emperor solemnly reminded. Hurricane Heavenly Territory? Thank you for your reminder, Your Majesty. I will be extra careful. Jiang Chen's expression did not change. Although this Hurricane Heavenly Territory would be a little troublesome, after all, even a Star Lord couldn't directly pass through it. This meant that his Heaven Ascending Ladder was probably useless. After all, there was only one piece of the Heaven Ascending Ladder, and its ability was limited. However, Jiang Chen did not panic. As the saying goes, those who are skilled are bold. There was nothing to panic about. He had been to countless dangerous places in his life, and a mere Hurricane Heavenly Territory was really nothing to him. After the banquet, Jiang Chen did not stay for long and left with Xiaolong and a Huang dog. On this trip to the Qidong domain, Xiaolong was most worried about Uncle Fu. However, Uncle Fu was personally protected by the emperor, so his safety would not be a problem. As for those people from the Crown Prince Palace, Xiaolong had absolute reason to believe that they would not dare to do anything secretly unless they were not afraid of death. Outside the Yunqiu country, Xiaolong looked back into the distance. He did not know when he would return to this place where he grew up. Boy, if you don't want to leave, it is not too late to go back now. The Huang dog said. Who doesn't want to leave? I want to go to a big place with Big Brother. Xiaolong tapped his nose and left without looking back. This little guy. The Huang dog chuckled. Let's go to the Qidong domain. Jiang Chen's body swayed and he flew away. The Qidong domain was hundreds of millions of miles away. At least, it was much further than the distance between the Qidong domain and the Qinan domain. Along the way, the Heaven Ascending Ladder was indispensable. Chapter 42:10. Even with the stairway to heaven, it would be a long journey to reach the Qizhong region. Moreover, he could not use the stairway to heaven all the time. There was a price to pay for using the stairway to heaven. Every time he used it, it would consume a lot of Jiang Chen's origin energy. Jiang Chen estimated that there wouldn't be any obstacles along the way, and it would take at least a month to reach the Red Mid region. However, Jiang Chen didn't believe that there wouldn't be any trouble along the way. As a result, Jiang Chen extended the time limit to 2 months if there were no accidents. It would be pretty good if he could reach the Qizhong region in 2 months. With a companion on the way, the journey would not be boring. In particular, the Huang dog was a clown who could get along well with Xiaolong. The two of them chattered along the way, making it hard for Jiang Chen to be quiet even if he wanted to. Of course, it was rare for Jiang Chen to have such a leisurely time. He could enjoy the scenery along the way without being chased by enemies. Such an experience was rare in his lifetime of cultivation. Along the way, Jiang Chen constantly explained to Xiaolong the problems he encountered in cultivation. With Xiaolong's monstrous talent and the fact that Jiang Chen was his teacher, it was impossible for Xiaolong's cultivation to not advance by leaps and bounds. In just 10 days, Xiaolong's cultivation had advanced by leaps and bounds once again, successfully reaching the 8th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm. If news of such a shameless advancement were to spread, who knew how many people would be angered to death? The Huang dog did not lose out either. He encountered many demonic beasts that blocked his way, but De Huang beat them all to death. He ate their demonic spirits like candy. Coupled with the dog's deep foundation, his cultivation also advanced alongside Xiaolong, reaching the 8th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm. Seeing Xiaolong and De Huang dog's progress, Jiang Chen was extremely happy. After all, the earthly source realm was nothing in the Scarlet Mid-region. As the largest stage of the Scarlet Cloud star boundary, there were countless Star-Lords. Ordinary Star-Lords were probably not even worth mentioning. Heavenly source experts were everywhere, while earthly source experts were considered inferior. If he wanted to gain a foothold in the Red Middle region, he had to constantly improve his own cultivation. Whether it was the Sky Climbing Ladder or the Dragon Palace, they were all external aids. No matter when, only by constantly improving his own cultivation could he gain a foothold. Jiang Chen was well aware of this. Asterisk roar. Asterisk in front of them, an earth-shattering roar suddenly rang out in the boundless water. A giant dragon that was over 1,000 feet long broke out of the water, twisting its body in the air above the water. Look, what a big dragon! Xiaolong pointed in front of him and said excitedly. He had only seen dragons in paintings in his life, so it was inevitable for him to be excited. It's not a dragon, It's a serpent. Little Chinzi. Looks like our luck is pretty good. This serpent has just evolved and reached the serpent dragon level. It should have just advanced to the heavenly source realm. If we kill it and absorb its demonic spirit, your cultivation will directly advance to the 8th heavenly layer of the earthly source realm. De Huang Dog said, his eyes filled with excitement. Unlike Xiaolong, who was only excited to see a dragon for the first time, De Huang Dog treated it as prey. You're right. Jiang Chen chuckled. A newly evolved serpent was full of treasures. It was not as simple as a demonic spirit. After emerging from the water, the serpent just happened to see Jiang Chen's group of 3 in the distance. A strange light immediately blossomed in its vicious eyes. The serpent extended its long tongue and licked its lips. With a twist of its body, it arrived near Jiang Chen's group. Hee, I didn't expect to meet people with such vigorous blood energy here. This dragon has just transformed into a flood dragon and is in need of blood energy. The blood energy from the 3 of you is something I've never seen before in my life. Within a radius of several thousand li in the sea region, there isn't a single great demon that can match up to your blood energy. The serpent chuckled, its eyes filled with endless greed as it looked at Jiang Chen's group. The serpent was too shocked. It had never seen humans with such vigorous vitality before. In its opinion, this must be a blessing from the heavens. It had just evolved into a serpent dragon, and the heavens had already sent it 3 fellows with vigorous vitality. They were simply great nourishment. There was no way the serpent dragon could not be tempted. Hee, this guy's treating us as prey. Jiang Chen chuckled. This was normal. A newly evolved serpent needed vitality the most. With enough vitality, the serpent dragon's bloodline could advance to another level. As for the 3 of them, their blood chi was naturally more vigorous than the last. Putting aside Jiang Chen and Big Yellow, Xiaolong was also a little monster. He was at the 8th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm at such a young age, and he possessed the powerful nameless bloodline. It would be strange if his blood chi wasn't vigorous. Aren't you the same? De Huang Dog chuckled. Yeah. You 2 stay here and watch. I'll deal with him. After saying that, Jiang Chen took a step forward. He had never properly fought a heavenly source expert before, let alone a first heavenly layer serpent dragon. Ordinary first heavenly source cultivators could not compare to him. Jiang Chen could use the serpent dragon to test his strength. Can Big Brother do it? Xiaolong was a little worried. Little guy, you shouldn't rely on your big brother's abilities. De Huang Dog said leisurely. His face was filled with indifference. No one knew Jiang Chen's strength better than him. It seemed that the serpent dragon's luck was really bad. If it had stayed in the water and not come out, it would have had a chance to evolve sooner or later. Unfortunately, the serpent dragon just had to jump out at this time and cause trouble for Jiang Chen. This was basically no different from courting death. 3 little guys, this dragon is going to eat you now. You should feel extremely honored. This is the greatest honor of your life. Stand here and don't move. I'll eat you one by one. Don't worry, the whole process will be very fast. There won't be any pain. The serpent dragon spoke with a buzzing voice, as if it was talking about something very normal. What the fuck? De Huang Dog could not help but curse. He had seen shameless people before, but he had never seen one as shameless as this. It ate people in such a righteous manner, as if they should be standing there for the serpent dragon to eat. You're even more shameless than this master dog. De Huang Dog was a little impressed. This dragon? You're just a loach, yet you still have the face to call yourself a dragon. I'll show you what a real dragon is. Jiang Chen could not be bothered to talk to the serpent dragon. His aura fluctuated, and he let out an earth-shattering roar. Then, with a sway of his body, he completely transformed into a blood-red dragon with a size similar to a serpent dragon. Wow, Big Brother is so domineering. Is Big Brother a real dragon? My God, compared to Big Brother, he's really a loach. Chapter 42:11. What? The serpent dragon's expression changed as his eyes narrowed. His gaze towards Jiang Chen was filled with shock. He had never thought that a human would possess the bloodline of a true dragon. Dragon, this is a true dragon, the powerful cosmic dragon of the eternal world. Haha, I'm rich. My luck is just too good. Looks like I'm the chosen one, favored by the heavens. They've given me such a great gift right after I transformed. If I can kill this dragon and absorb his bloodline, I'll be able to directly transform into a true dragon. My future will be limitless. The serpent dragon could not help but laugh aloud after a brief moment of shock. He was so excited that he could not control himself. That's right, there was no reason for him not to be excited. He originally thought that this was just a human with vigorous blood and chi, but he didn't expect that the other party was actually a true dragon. For a flood dragon, the value of a true dragon's bloodline was much higher than that of a human with vigorous blood and chi, especially for a flood dragon like him who had just transformed. More importantly, Jiang Chen was only at the 7th heavenly layer of the Earth origin realm. Even with the powerful bloodline of a true dragon, the serpent dragon did not care about such a huge difference in cultivation. It was basically certain that he would be able to defeat his opponent. Serpent dragon, your dream is far too grand. It seems like you won't have a chance to realize it. Jiang Chen shook his head and mocked. Humph. I do fear the bloodline of a true dragon. If you were a heavenly origin realm dragon, I would only be able to flee at the sight of you. It's a pity that you're only at the 7th heavenly layer of the Earth origin realm. There's a difference of 3 levels between us, and there's an entire level between us. So what if you have a supreme bloodline? You're not my opponent at all. You're just delivering yourself to me by coming here. The serpent dragon snorted coldly. He did not take Jiang Chen seriously at all. Whether Jiang Chen was a human or a true dragon, the serpent dragon had only treated Jiang Chen as prey. That was all. Then you can try. Jiang Chen didn't want to waste any more words with him, so he took the initiative to attack. He struck out with the incomparably powerful true dragon's palm. Executing the true dragon's great palm with the body of a true dragon was undoubtedly pushing this terrifying true dragon battle technique to its limits. A soaring dragon claw swiped down on the little dragon's head. The powerful aura even caused a layer of huge waves to appear in the water below. With Jiang Chen's current strength, he could easily kill a first heavenly layer earthly source realm cultivator in his dragon form. However, it was not that easy to deal with a serpent dragon. Of course, if it was simple, it wouldn't be able to arouse Jiang Chen's fighting spirit. The more difficult the challenge was, the more excited Jiang Chen would be. Killing this flood dragon would give him a greater sense of achievement. So strong. The flood dragon's expression changed again. It curled its body and extended its huge claws, which collided with Jiang Chen's true dragon palm. Rumble. The violent energy wreaked havoc, and the water within a radius of several hundred miles was shaken. The monsters in the water fled everywhere. Some were so scared that they didn't dare to move, crawling on the bottom of the water. The waves surged up to the sky. Jiang Chen and the flood dragon both retreated dozens of meters. Kid, is the true dragon bloodline really that powerful? There's a difference of 3 whole levels. You're actually on par with me. The flood dragon was shocked. It had no choice but to withdraw its previous arrogance. As soon as Jiang Chen attacked, it knew that this guy with the true dragon bloodline was not as easy to deal with as it thought. But it was also because of Jiang Chen's strength that made the flood dragon even more excited and greedy. Jiang Chen's bloodline was just too powerful. If it could get its hands on Jiang Chen's bloodline and absorb it, it would be unimaginable how strong it would become. Edited by Lifer, Fingerfox. The flood dragon was already looking forward to its future. It was looking forward to its future. Looks like I'll have to use all my strength to kill you today, the flood dragon said. It was still confident in its strength. After all, it was a heavenly source expert. Moreover, its bloodline had just undergone a transformation. It was the time for it to be proud and arrogant. If you have any powerful moves, hurry up and use them. I'm afraid you won't have a chance to use them later. Jiang Chen's voice shook the sky. His sharp dragon claws once again grabbed at the flood dragon. Rumble. The 2 dragons engaged in a desperate battle in the air above the water. The scene was very intense. Their bodies constantly collided, creating large amounts of sparks. It was as if they were forging iron. Big brother, you can do it. Xiaolong cheered. The worship in his eyes for Jiang Chen had reached a peak. He was completely a little fange. In Little Dragon's eyes, Jiang Chen was simply too awesome. An existence that could shake the heavens. Isn't the flood dragon courting death by clashing head-on with Little Chenzi? He thinks his newly transformed body is invincible, but he doesn't know that Jiang Chen's body is as tough as steel. Who knows how many times stronger than the flood dragon? He's just asking to be humiliated. De Huang Dog shook his head. The moment the flood dragon clashed with Jiang Chen, its fate had already been decided. In a battle of life and death like this, Once one side was injured, the other side would gain an absolute advantage. Victory was basically set in stone. Boom! After another fierce collision, the flood dragon was knocked dizzy, and it cursed out loud. Bastard! This guy's body is even tougher than mine. Is the Cosmos Dragon really that tough? I don't believe it. He's only at the 7th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm. How can he be so powerful? The Flood Dragon felt the urge to vomit blood. His body had just undergone a transformation, so he was just too confident in his body. He never thought that he would be beaten black and blue by Jiang Chen today. Die, Sword 26. Jiang Chen had gained the upper hand in one move, so how could he give the Flood Dragon a chance to turn around? The Heavenly Dragon's sword instantly leapt out. The sword was over 300 meters long, hovering above Jiang Chen's body. It directly completed the fusion of sword and dragon. Swish! Sword Chi rampaged as Dragon Chi soared into the sky. This was the most perfect fusion of sword and dragon. Sword 26. Ancient Soaring Dragon Technique. At the same time, Jiang Chen used the Ancient Soaring Dragon Technique, increasing his battle prowess once again. Dragon Transformation, Ancient Soaring Dragon Technique, and Sword 26 were Jiang Chen's most powerful attacks. Even the Flood Dragon could not withstand such a ferocious attack. Asterisk rumble. Asterisk the sword buzzed, causing the entire region to shake. In the sky above the region of water, a huge dragon fused with a huge sword, almost becoming the only thing in the world. It seemed invincible. Impossible. How can he be so powerful? The Flood Dragon's face completely changed. Jiang Chen's strength had far exceeded his imagination. Facing Jiang Chen's attack, the Flood Dragon actually sensed the threat of death. Chapter 42:12. Jiang Chen, who was at the peak of the 7th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm, was basically a disaster to those at the 1st heavenly layer. It was the end of the world. Moreover, he had used the Ancient Soaring Dragon Technique to strengthen his draconic transformation. Even the powerful Serpent Dragon would not be able to escape. Swish! The Heavenly Dragon Sword descended with a torrential aura that was enough to split the world in half. The huge sword was like the laws of the world, slicing through the Serpent Dragon's body and cleaving it in half. Awoo! The Flood Dragon, which had been split in half, was not dead yet. It raised its head and let out an earth-shattering shriek. The Flood Dragon's head dragged the remaining half of its body towards the water region below, trying to preserve its remaining half of its life. It's too late to run now. How could Jiang Chen give the Serpent Dragon any chance at all? He had worked so hard for so long, even using the Ancient Soaring Dragon Technique. If he did not reap some benefits, it would all be for naught. Jiang Chen returned to his original form and used the True Dragon Palm. A huge dragon claw grabbed the Serpent Dragon's head. The Serpent Dragon cried out in pain. It wanted to break free from Jiang Chen's grasp, but how could it fight against Jiang Chen in its current state? Even if it had 10,000 times more power, it would not be able to escape from Jiang Chen's grasp. Spare me, spare me. The Serpent Dragon begged. Spare me? Haha, when you wanted to eat me earlier, you never thought about sparing me. Dang. Jiang Chen laughed aloud. He grabbed the Serpent Dragon's body and exploded it. A blood-red demon spirit flew out from the Serpent Dragon's head and landed in Jiang Chen's hand. Big brother is mighty. Xiao Long cheered, jumping up and down. The battle just now had been just too exciting. It was enough to make one's blood boil. A 7th heavenly layer Earth Source cultivator killing a 1st heavenly layer Serpent Dragon. Perhaps only Jiang Chen could do something as heaven-defying as that. This Flood Dragon's luck is really not that good. It just had to meet a freak like you. De Huang Dog chuckled. He couldn't help but feel sorry for the Flood Dragon. From a Flood Dragon to a Flood Dragon, this was an extremely difficult transformation process. This was a huge transformation of the bloodline. The Flood Dragon's luck was really bad. Otherwise, he would definitely have a bright future. Unfortunately, the Flood Dragon encountered Jiang Chen, a fierce person that it was destined to be unable to eat. Let's go. Let's continue on our way. This area of water is not peaceful. There might be even more powerful demonic beasts around. It's more important for us to hurry on with our journey. There's no need to waste time here. Jiang Chen said. He did not know when he would be able to reach the Qidong region. The Dark Wind region that the Yunqiu Kingdom's emperor mentioned had not appeared yet. Jiang Chen did not want to waste time in other places. As for those demonic beasts, as long as they didn't take the initiative to jump out and cause trouble for him, Jiang Chen didn't need to take the initiative to provoke them. They quickly flew over several thousand kilometers of water. Without any hesitation, Jiang Chen directly devoured the flood dragon's demonic spirit. Violent energy instantly filled Jiang Chen's limbs and bones. An incomparably comfortable feeling instantly spread throughout his body. It had to be said that the energy contained in the flood dragon's demonic spirit and bloodline was indeed incomparable to ordinary demonic beasts, especially to Jiang Chen. Almost at the same time, Jiang Chen's cultivation advanced to the Earth Source 8th heavenly layer. Furthermore, the energy of the flood dragon's demonic spirit had not been completely used up, causing Jiang Chen's cultivation to continue breaking through. He advanced all the way to the peak of the Earth Source 8th heavenly layer before slowly stabilizing. Big Brother is becoming more and more powerful. Xiaolong's face was filled with excitement. His gaze towards Jiang Chen was filled with endless admiration. Xiaolong, do you know what bloodline and physique you have? Jiang Chen looked at Xiaolong and asked curiously. He knew that Xiaolong probably knew nothing about his situation, but he could not help but ask. I don't know. Xiaolong shook his head. Jiang Chen smiled and rubbed Xiaolong's head. The answer was within his expectations. It was very difficult for Jiang Chen to imagine what kind of existence a physique that even he did not know about was. Perhaps it was not time yet. When Xiaolong's cultivation reached a certain level, the secret would naturally be revealed. But one thing was certain, and that was that Xiaolong's physique was definitely extraordinary. It was definitely one of the strongest physiques in the eternal world. There was no doubt about this. In the blink of an eye, another 20 days passed. It had been an entire month since they left the Crimson South region. The journey was bumpy. De Huang Dog and Xiaolong had long since lost their initial interest and became gloomy. In the boundless space, floating clouds blocked the way. The journey was destined to be boring. A violent gale blew in front of them. Countless clouds were torn apart by the gale, and cracks appeared in the space. Big Brother, the wind is so strong in front. Xiaolong pointed ahead and said, It's a hurricane. De Huang Dog's eyes lit up. If there was no accident, they should have reached the Dark Wind Heavenly Region. After a month, they finally saw the Dark Wind Heavenly Region. Only after seeing the Dark Wind Heavenly Region could they really look forward to the Crimson South region. That's right. It should be the Dark Wind Heavenly Region. We are now in the firmament. There shouldn't be such a storm here. I'm afraid we are about to reach the border of the Dark Wind Heavenly Region. You too be careful. The Dark Wind Heavenly Region has a circumference of 10,000 miles. There are violent hurricanes inside and the space is completely chaotic. The stairway to heaven will be useless there. We have to rely on our own strength to pass through the Dark Wind Heavenly Region. Jiang Chen reminded. His tone could not help but become serious. The Dark Wind Heavenly Region was a place that even the Yunqiu country's emperor would change his expression at the mention of it. Big Brother, can we take a detour? Xiaolong asked. The hurricanes in front of them were like wild dragons. Just looking at them made their scalp numb, not to mention walking into the Dark Wind Heavenly Region. We can't go around it. We have to pass through this place. Even if there is a way to go around it, I don't want to. I would like to see how terrifying this Dark Wind Heavenly Region is. Jiang Chen's lips curved up. His fighting spirit was aroused. He had been on the road for a month. It was not interesting at all. This Dark Wind Heavenly Region was a bit interesting. It was a place that they couldn't even find. How could they take a detour? That's right. That's right. The tornadoes in the Dark Wind Heavenly Realm contain powerful wind force. The wind force can refine the body and strengthen the body. If I'm not wrong, there must be some beasts living in the Dark Wind Heavenly Realm. I know a kind of hurricane beast. It's very powerful and fast. If we can kill some hurricane beasts and absorb their wind origin power, it will greatly improve our speed. De Huang Dog said. Apparently, he was also very interested in the Dark Wind Heavenly Region. Little Chenzi, I remember you have a skill called Eternal Celestial Wind. However, your Eternal Celestial Wind is too weak. This place can help you improve it. If your Eternal Celestial Wind can evolve, it will be another powerful skill. Chapter 42:13. I almost forgot about the Eternal Immortal Wind if you didn't mention it. Jiang Chen's eyes glittered. He had too many tricks up his sleeves, but he couldn't remember many of them. The eternal immortal wind was the trick he used to strip the northern and southern dynasties of their power. He had done a lot of good things with it back in the immortal world. It was an extremely powerful skill. Once executed, the immortal wind would sweep everything in its path. It was the most powerful skill when used to attack a large area. However, the wind in the immortal world was much weaker than the wind in the eternal world, but the skill was still there. Different kinds of wind could be used to unleash different kinds of power. The black wind heavenly region obviously contained a powerful wind origin. Without the wind origin, it wouldn't be able to form such a huge black wind heavenly region, and there wouldn't be any wind creatures in the black wind heavenly region. De Huang Dog was right. If there were really hurricane beasts here, it would be a feast for Jiang Chen. Killing the hurricane beasts, obtaining the wind origin, and evolving the eternal immortal wind would be another powerful skill. Alright, I'm going to enter the hurricane heavenly region to refine my body and speed. Xiaolong clenched his fists and said excitedly, "Let's go." Jiang Chen's body shook, and he was the first to rush into the hurricane heavenly region. He and De Huang Dog had always been bold, and there was no place they didn't dare to go. Since Xiaolong's bloodline had been awakened, he had become even more aggressive, especially when he was with his big brother. He didn't know what fear was. Nobody knew what kind of changes the three peerless geniuses would bring to the hurricane sky realm. It was certain that there would be a storm of blood and chaos. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Three figures rushed into the hurricane heavenly region at lightning speed. As soon as they entered the heavenly hurricane domain, the scenery around them changed. The wind here was simply too strong. There were colorful lights everywhere, and strong gales were everywhere. The gales were like sharp blades that brushed against people's bodies, making them feel as if their skin was going to be torn apart. Big brother, the wind here is so strong. If a Unity Origin cultivator came here, he would be torn to pieces. Xiaolong was shocked. Little fellow, this is just an ordinary wind. Look over there, there's a huge array of hurricanes. Each hurricane is like a wild dragon. That's the truly terrifying part. Not to mention Unity Origin experts. Even we won't be able to avoid it if we don't understand arrays. We'll be torn apart no matter where the weakest part of the hurricane is. De Huang Dog said. His words sounded a little exaggerated, but Xiaolong knew that De Huang Dog wasn't exaggerating at all. In fact, he was being a little tactful. If one didn't personally enter the hurricane heavenly domain, they wouldn't understand how terrifying the wind and waves here were. The so-called tornadoes were child's play compared to the hurricane waves here. Xiaolong, follow closely behind me. Do not fall into the heavenly hurricane formation. We've just entered the heavenly hurricane domain. We still need to move forward. Jiang Chen reminded. Okay, big brother. Xiaolong nodded his head solemnly and followed closely behind Jiang Chen. He knew what Jiang Chen was worried about, because he didn't know anything about formations. If he fell into the hurricane formation, he would be trapped and killed. They had just stepped into the black wind heavenly realm. The further they went, the more dangerous it would be. The three of them had no choice, because they had to go through the black wind heavenly realm. Only by going through the black wind heavenly realm could they enter the red middle region. Xiaolong, just call me big brother from now on. You don't have to call me big brother. Jiang Chen patted Xiaolong's head with a smile. Calling him big brother was too delicate, and he didn't like it. Okay, big brother. Xiaolong nodded. He always listened to Jiang Chen. For Xiaolong, it didn't matter what he called Jiang Chen, because it couldn't change his admiration for Jiang Chen. Xiaolong was born in a royal family, and his brotherly love was as clear as water. The sixth prince had personally sent him into the abyss, and it was Jiang Chen who brought him out from the abyss. Therefore, in the depths of Xiaolong's heart, Jiang Chen was even closer to him than his own brother. He had long decided that he would follow Jiang Chen for the rest of his life. He would do whatever Jiang Chen asked him to do. If Jiang Chen encountered any danger, Xiaolong would definitely rush forward and protect Jiang Chen. Simple people were the most direct in their feelings. Two people and a dog kept moving forward, shuttling through the wind and waves, dodging the attacks of the hurricane formation. Although Jiang Chen and Big Yellow's movement skills were unparalleled, it was still difficult for them to walk in the dark wind heavenly region. They didn't dare to be too relaxed. There's a hurricane formation in front of us. Master Dog wants to go in and have a look. De Huang Dog looked at the hurricane formation in front of him and dashed in with a swoosh. Big brother, will De Huang be in danger if he goes in? Xiaolong asked worriedly. Don't worry. This dog is very powerful. Jiang Chen looked relaxed, not worried at all. He trusted De Huang Dog's ability too much. Damn it! However, De Huang Dog went in fast and ran out fast. He was in a mess, cursing and swearing. Roar! An earth-shattering roar resounded, and a snow-white wild beast drilled out of the hurricane formation. The wild beast was over 100 feet in size, and its body was illusory. It didn't look very real, but it really did exist. It's a hurricane beast. Jiang Chen's eyes narrowed. De Huang Dog was right. There was indeed a hurricane beast in the heavenly region of Hurricane. It had to be said that De Huang Dog's luck was really bad. He had encountered a heavenly source hurricane beast right off the bat. The hurricane beast was at the first heavenly layer. With De Huang Dog's current cultivation, killing a 9th heavenly layer earth source expert was a piece of cake. He could even deal with a first heavenly layer earth source expert. However, this depended on the environment. This was the heavenly region of Hurricane, and De Huang Dog had entered the hurricane formation. The hurricane beast had a unique advantage. In other words, the hurricane beast could use the environment of the heavenly region to come and go as it pleased. Humans could control the hurricane to attack, increasing their strength by more than a little. Roar! The hurricane beast spat out a wind blade, charging towards De Huang Dog. De Huang Dog flew into a rage. He was no match for the hurricane beast in the hurricane formation, but he had nothing to fear now that he had come out. De Huang Dog transformed, growing to the same size as the hurricane beast. Golden light blossomed from his head as he charged towards the wind blades. Clang clang. The invincible wind blades landed on De Huang Dog's head, producing a metallic clang. Although De Huang Dog was forced back, it did not harm De Huang Dog at all. The hurricane beast was clearly taken aback. It had not expected the head of the fellow before it to be so tough that even its wind blades could not break it. Chapter 42:14. Xiaolong, you and De Huang will attack together. Let's see how capable the hurricane beast is. Remember, don't enter the hurricane formation. Jiang Chen reminded. All right. Xiaolong was filled with excitement. He leapt forward and surrounded the hurricane beast with De Huang Dog. The wind and waves were relatively weaker in their current location, which was advantageous to the battle between De Huang Dog and Xiaolong. Just as Jiang Chen had said, they absolutely could not enter the hurricane formation when fighting the hurricane beast in the heavenly hurricane region. Once they did, the hurricane beast would be able to control the formation perfectly. The powerful wind would become the hurricane beast's weapon, multiplying its battle prowess. In such an environment, even if Xiaolong and De Huang Dog worked together, they would not be the hurricane beast's opponent. Roar. The hurricane beast roared again and again. Wind blades shot out from all over its body. Each wind blade was like a sharp sword, filling the surroundings with astonishing destructive power. Floating Cloud Palm. Xiaolong roared and used the Floating Cloud Palm. The little monster's cultivation had already reached the peak of the 8th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm, the kind that could advance to the 9th heavenly layer at any time. He might even be able to make a breakthrough in the midst of this battle. Xiaolong and De Huang Dog were both monstrous geniuses that could take on a first heavenly layer heavenly source expert alone. Now that they worked together, dealing with a first heavenly layer hurricane beast was nothing difficult at all. De Huang Dog became even more ferocious. He did not need any battle skills at all. His entire body was a weapon, and he could fight the hurricane beast to the death with just his tough head and body alone. Rumble. The two monstrous geniuses fought against the hurricane beast. Terrifying waves of air surged everywhere, causing the entire region of wind to churn violently. The hurricane beast took advantage of the favorable environment and the wind and waves here. His speed was also unparalleled. As he clashed back and forth, he was evenly matched with Xiaolong and De Huang Dog. Jiang Chen could not help but reveal a sliver of graveness as he watched from the side. The hurricane beasts clearly had a natural advantage here. They were only at the edge of the dark wind heavenly region, yet a heavenly source hurricane beast had already appeared. If they continued deeper in, they would encounter even greater obstacles. If it was outside, either Xiaolong or De Huang would be able to finish off an existence like the hurricane beast. However, a single first heavenly layer hurricane beast was able to fight the two of them to a draw with De Huang Dog and the others. Roar. Star. Seeing that Big Yellow and the little dragon couldn't defeat them, The hurricane beast let out another roar, causing the surrounding wind to distort. Before the hurricane beast's roar faded away, another hurricane beast rushed out from the hurricane formation. Obviously, it was calling for its partner. The hurricane beast that had charged out seemed to be identical to the previous one. Not only did they look exactly the same, even their cultivation was the same. Of course, Jiang Chen felt that all the hurricane beasts in the entire hurricane heavenly region looked exactly the same. Big brother, looks like you have no choice but to take action. Xiao Long called out. Jiang Chen shook his head. With a single movement, he appeared before the hurricane beast that had just charged out. He was not interested in the hurricane beast's appearance, only its strength. With Jiang Chen's cultivation at the peak of the 8th heavenly layer of the Earth Source Realm, there was no need for him to use his dragon transformation to kill a first heavenly layer heavenly source demonic beast. Even though the environment was extremely advantageous to the hurricane beast, the environment could affect others, but it could not affect Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen's battle prowess was suitable for any environment. In terms of wind force, he had grasped the eternal immortal wind, so the environment did not affect him at all. In terms of speed, Jiang Chen's speed was unparalleled. Whether it was the Azure Dragon's 5 steps or the Great Void technique, Jiang Chen's speed was unparalleled. Whether it was the Azure Dragon's 5 steps or the Great Void technique, they were both methods that contained boundless principles, so they could be used even in the eternal world. These methods would grow stronger as Jiang Chen's cultivation grew. As a result, Jiang Chen's unparalleled methods would still be unparalleled in the eternal world after the transformation of his bloodline, and they would only be stronger than before. Roar! The hurricane beast that had just emerged roared again and again. It opened its bloody mouth and bit at Jiang Chen. Humph! Jiang Chen snorted coldly. Unmoving as a mountain, he grabbed the hurricane beast's head with his bare hands and crushed it. The hurricane beast let out a miserable shriek as its enormous body suddenly vanished into nothing, transforming into waves of wind that shot off in all directions. So this is a trick? Unfortunately, it's useless against me. Jiang Chen was stunned for a moment, but then he realized that the hurricane beast could rely on the unique environment of the hurricane heaven domain to transform its body at will. It could turn into a wave of wind and appear in different places. That kind of ability was undoubtedly terrifying, especially when it was used for sneak attacks. It could be completely silent, making it impossible for the opponent to defend against it. Even if it couldn't defeat the hurricane beast, escaping wouldn't be a problem. For example, even if Jiang Chen grabbed its head, the hurricane beast could still rely on the environment to escape. It was a pity that the hurricane beast had met a monster like Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen's perception was too sharp. His hand directly grabbed the hurricane beast's origin. The hurricane beast let out a blood-curdling shriek as its dissipating body reformed. No matter how it struggled, it couldn't break free from Jiang Chen's grasp. Jiang Chen's hand had already sunk deep into the hurricane beast's head. Die! Jiang Chen let out a roar as his aura fluctuated. The powerful energy directly tore the hurricane beast to pieces. A milky white pearl the size of a thumb appeared in Jiang Chen's hand. The pearl was smooth to the touch, and its surface was covered in mist. It didn't look real, as if it could disappear at any moment. The hurricane beast's demon spirit? No, it's the origin of wind. For the hurricane beast, it's similar to the demon spirit of other demonic beasts. It's very beneficial to me. It can evolve my eternal immortal wind. The more origin of wind, the more powerful the evolution of the eternal immortal wind. This hurricane heaven domain is my blessed land. Haha. Jiang Chen couldn't help laughing. The reason he came to the hurricane heaven domain was to find the origin of wind. He was worried about where to find the origin of wind. He didn't expect that all the origin of wind here would be scattered in the hurricane beasts' bodies. In other words, as long as he kept killing the hurricane beasts, he would be able to obtain an endless amount of wind essence. Jiang Chen could even imagine how terrifyingly powerful his eternal immortal wind would be if he could obtain all the wind essence in the entire dark wind heavenly domain. Chapter 42:15. Without any hesitation, Jiang Chen devoured the origin of wind in his hand in a single gulp, just like how he devoured other demonic spirits. The origin of wind entered his body and turned into violent wind force that surged towards Jiang Chen's limbs and bones. Jiang Chen used the dragonization skill and quickly suppressed the wind force. The eternal immortal wind that had remained dormant for a very long time rippled once again. Under Jiang Chen's control, The origin of wind quickly fused with the eternal immortal wind. A gust of wind rippled around Jiang Chen's body, forming a miniature tornado. With the fusion of the eternal immortal wind, Jiang Chen could clearly feel that the eternal immortal wind was undergoing a fundamental change. Not bad, but there's too little origin of wind. I need more origin of wind. The more origin of wind there is, the more powerful the eternal immortal wind will be. The hurricane heavenly region is going to be interesting. A smile appeared on Jiang Chen's lips. He was in no hurry to leave the hurricane heavenly region. Black King, come out. Jiang Chen called out coldly, summoning the Black King. He did not care about the battle between Xiao Long, De Huang Dog, and the hurricane beasts. He had killed one hurricane beast, and the other one was already in a mess. With the strength of De Huang Dog and Xiao Long, if they could not kill the other, they would not be able to survive in the future. With a flash, the Black King appeared before Jiang Chen. The Black King had already reached the peak of the third heavenly layer, only a step away from the fourth heavenly layer. Judging from the Black King's presence, it would probably take him a day or two to reach the fourth heavenly layer. Master. Black King appeared and clasped his fists at Jiang Chen. His body was like an iron tower standing in the middle of the hurricane, unmoving. Facing the powerful dark wind heavenly domain, Black King's facial expression remained calm. There was no change in his expression, let alone nervousness. This kind of reaction was too normal. Who was the Black King? He was a general under the Buddha Patriarch. Back then, he had fought all over the place. What kind of situation had he not seen? Moreover, after being sealed in the Buddha prison palace for 3,000 years, a person who had not lost his mind due to the curse was extremely resilient. The Black King was completely reborn. Black King, do you know anything about formations? Jiang Chen asked. I know a little. The Black King said. Very good. Release all the heavenly source stage demons in the Dragon Palace and those that know about formations. Kill the hurricane beasts in the hurricane heavenly realm and obtain the wind origin for me. Jiang Chen ordered. The Black King saying that he knew a little was enough in Jiang Chen's eyes. After all, when the Black King was at his peak, he was a powerful Star Lord, or even the incomparably powerful Star Monarch. Even if he knew a little about formations, it was not something a heavenly source formation expert could compare to. To put it bluntly, the Black King knew a little was enough to deal with the hurricane formation. It was the same for the other demons. Demons that had not lost their mind after 3,000 years were all Star Lords at their peak. As long as they knew a little about formations, they would be more than enough for Jiang Chen. All right, I'll get it done. The Black King entered the Dragon Palace with a single movement. He did not dare to question Jiang Chen's orders at all. The Black King came out quickly as well. He brought out more than 100 people, all of whom were heavenly source experts. Some were at the first and second heavenly layers, while 2 of them had just broken through to the third heavenly layer. Master, they all know formations. They'll have no problem dealing with the hurricane formation here. The Black King said. All right, go. Be careful. The hurricane beasts are all in the hurricane formation. They can use the environment to their advantage and possess extraordinary battle prowess. Jiang Chen waved his hand. He didn't need to say too much to these great demons because they had enough experience. Even if they hadn't fought against the hurricane beast before, they would be able to understand the beast in a short period of time. Jiang Chen waved his hand. Over 100 heavenly source experts with the experience of Star Lords roamed around the hurricane heavenly region. This was an unimaginable force. They would fight for Jiang Chen and obtain the wind origin energy for Jiang Chen. The wind origin energy they could obtain would definitely be extremely valuable. The hurricane heavenly region was vast, but Jiang Chen was not afraid that they would get lost. As long as they did not leave the hurricane heavenly region, they would be able to sense the location of the hurricane heavenly region. They would be able to find Jiang Chen's location immediately no matter where they were. Whoosh! The Black King and the experts scattered, starting a hunt in the hurricane heavenly region. These people were too strong, and they had abundant combat experience. Jiang Chen didn't need to worry about them at all. There were still over 10,000 demons in the Hurricane Dragon Palace. After such a long time, most of them had recovered to the heavenly source stage. They were an unparalleled force. However, they were all demons, and only a few of them were proficient in formations. Most of them were unfamiliar with formations, so Jiang Chen did not let them all out. In the Hurricane Heavenly Realm, if one wanted to find the Hurricane Beast, they had to enter the Hurricane Formation. If one didn't understand the formation, it would be difficult to move an inch in the hurricane formation. Not to mention whether one could defeat the hurricane beast. If one didn't understand the formation, once one was trapped in the hurricane formation, it was very likely that one would be trapped to death and never be able to get out. Jiang Chen didn't want to cause unnecessary trouble. If those people who didn't know anything about formations were trapped in the hurricane formation and couldn't get out, Jiang Chen would have to save them, and that would be a huge loss. With a deafening roar, the hurricane beast that was fighting against Xiaolong and De Huang Dog finally could not hold on any longer. It was torn to pieces by De Huang Dog and Xiaolong. Moreover, the hurricane beast did not even have the chance to escape. The wind origin was in Xiaolong's hand. Big brother. Xiaolong approached Jiang Chen with the wind origin and handed it to Jiang Chen. Xiaolong, the wind origin is also very beneficial to you. Not only will you have a chance to increase your cultivation after refining it, it will also help you comprehend the wind profound and increase your speed. You should refine it yourself. There are hurricane formations everywhere in the hurricane heavenly region, so there must be countless hurricane beasts inside. Let's have a feast in the hurricane formation. Jiang Chen said. Okay, big brother. Xiaolong's eyes glowed. He did not stand on ceremony with Jiang Chen. He opened his mouth and imitated Jiang Chen, swallowing the wind origin and refining it on the spot. I'll go in and see if there are any more hurricane beasts. Chapter 42:16. However, De Huang Dog had entered and exited quickly this time. Damn it, there's nothing left. There's not even a single strand of hair. But the formations in there aren't bad. It'll be difficult for someone who doesn't understand formations to come out after entering. De Huang Dog said. There are far too many hurricane formations in the heavenly hurricane region. There are thousands of them, and they're everywhere. The hurricane beasts should be hidden in the formations. After all, we haven't seen any hurricane beasts outside. Looks like the number and strength of the hurricane beasts hidden in different formations are different. There are 2 first heavenly layer hurricane beasts in this formation, so it should be a medium-grade formation. Jiang Chen said. He had far too much experience in his life, so he could see through the formations with a single glance. If that's the case, let's get busy and search through the formations one by one. De Huang Dog was extremely excited. As someone who loved to see the world in chaos, the thing he feared the most was having nothing to do. The heavenly hurricane region was a great place for De Huang Dog to let loose. The 3 brothers were in high spirits. They were about to have a grand feast in the dark wind region, and the hurricane beasts in the dark wind region would soon meet their end. Moreover, Jiang Chen and De Huang Dog had already deduced that although the heavenly hurricane region was blocking the way to the Scarlet Mid-region, they had yet to reach the Scarlet Mid-region. It was not strange for hurricane beasts to appear here, but they definitely would not be too powerful. According to Jiang Chen's estimations, the strongest hurricane beasts that could appear were at the 4th heavenly layer. They obviously could not deal with a 4th heavenly layer hurricane beast with their current strength, but the Black King could. The Black King's current cultivation aside, the Black King would be able to break through to the 4th heavenly layer in 2 days at most. With the Black King's abilities, he was basically invincible in any environment. Afterward, Jiang Chen and De Huang Dog flew 100 kilometers with the small dragon. They passed by several hurricane formations and killed over a dozen hurricane beasts, but they were all Earth Source hurricane beasts. There was only 1 first heavenly layer hurricane beast, so it was not very attractive to Jiang Chen and the others. An Earth Source hurricane beast's wind origin was just too weak. The origin of wind contained within the hurricane beast's body was the same as the demon spirit of ordinary demon beasts. The higher the rank, the stronger the energy contained within the demon spirit. However, Jiang Chen didn't reject any of them. Since the origin of wind could help him transform into the eternal immortal wind, it didn't matter what grade it was. Naturally, the more the better. The Black King and the others constantly returned, providing Jiang Chen with an endless stream of wind origin energy. In a short amount of time, Jiang Chen had collected over 100 wind origin energy. The most powerful one was at the 2nd heavenly layer of heavenly layer, which was extremely beneficial to Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen didn't refuse any of them. He continued to refine and absorb the origin of the wind. The eternal immortal wind was transforming step by step. Now it could be used in combat. Even now, the lethality and power of the eternal immortal wind was much higher than ordinary combat techniques. Jiang Chen and the others came to the front of an enormous hurricane. This hurricane had a circumference of 100 miles. It was much bigger than any hurricane formation they had seen before. It was very eye-catching in the heavenly hurricane domain. There must be something big in there. De Huang Dog licked his lips and said excitedly, "I'll go lure them out." Xiaolong was eager to give it a try. "Come on, little guy. You'd better stay outside and watch this grandpa dog." Big Yellow felt proud of himself. With a sway of his body, he dashed into the tornado. Xiaolong pouted his lips, but he had no choice but to hold his fist and wait outside. He didn't know anything about formations. If he went into such a powerful tornado formation, he might be trapped inside forever. Oh, as soon as Big Yellow entered the formation, he immediately heard the roars of the hurricane beasts. Judging from the roars, there were at least 100 hurricane beasts in the formation. "Big brother, De Huang is going to stir up the nest of the hurricane beasts this time." Xiaolong chuckled and got into a fighting stance, ready for battle. I'm afraid it's going to be a beast tide. It's a good time to test your combat strength and increase your combat experience." Jiang Chen nodded without a trace of panic on his face. If it was an ordinary person, he would be scared to death. This was the Black Wind Heavenly Region. If he encountered a beast tide in the Black Wind Heavenly Region, he would definitely die. There was no one who wasn't afraid. Jiang Chen was probably the only one who could remain calm in the face of such a horde of beasts. Swoosh! A figure dashed out from the hurricane formation like a sharp sword. It was Big Yellow, who was in a terrible situation. Behind Big Yellow, countless hurricane beasts were dashing out while roaring loudly. "Little Chenzi, there's a big guy this time." The Big Yellow Dog wagged its long tongue. Its saliva was flying everywhere, and its eyes were filled with excitement. "Xiaolong, get ready." Jiang Chen waved his arm and the heavenly dragon sword appeared in his hand. He then rushed towards the hurricane beasts that were rushing out of the hurricane formation. Xiaolong did the same. The nameless sword rippled as sword qi rampaged, sweeping everything in its path. In the blink of an eye, over 100 hurricane beasts had rushed out of the hurricane formation, surrounding Jiang Chen and the others as they roared. The leading hurricane beast had reached the second heavenly layer of the heavenly source realm. Wind and waves surged around it, making it the king of the beasts. Aside from them, there were 7 or 8 first heavenly source hurricane beasts, while the rest were at the earth source realm. These hurricane beasts had originally been cultivating in the hurricane formation, but they had never imagined that an uninvited guest like De Huang Dog would barge in. This immediately enraged the hurricane beasts, causing them to charge out in full force. "I'll deal with the biggest one. I'll leave the rest to you," Jiang Chen said nonchalantly, his gaze locked onto the second heavenly layer hurricane beasts. "Big brother, there's too many. We can't deal with them all." Xiaolong rubbed his head, his face filled with melancholy. The hurricane beasts relied on the unique environment to increase their battle prowess. Previously, Xiaolong and De Huang Dog had only managed to kill a first heavenly source hurricane beast when they worked together. How were they supposed to deal with 7 or 8 first heavenly layer heavenly source hurricane beasts? "If we can't deal with them, we'll deal with them slowly," Jiang Chen said casually, before transforming into a dragon and charging towards the leader of the hurricane beasts. As for De Huang Dog and Xiaolong, Jiang Chen was not worried at all. After all, the two of them already had experience fighting against the hurricane beasts. Even if they were no match for the hurricane beasts, staying alive was not a problem for them. Chapter 42:17. Roar. The leader of the hurricane beast roared again and again. Seeing that a guy who was not even at the heavenly source realm had taken the initiative to attack it, it was immediately enraged. This was simply looking down on it. The hurricane beast stretched out a sharp claw and clawed at Jiang Chen. Wind billowed. If he was caught, he would be crushed instantly. However, the hurricane beast's opponent was Jiang Chen, so it was destined to fail. Not to mention that Jiang Chen was extremely powerful. The hurricane beast might not be able to penetrate his dragon body even if he stood still. Sword 26. Jiang Chen did not hesitate at all. He immediately used his strongest killing move. With the Sword 26, the surrounding wind was directly cut apart. How could the hurricane beast withstand the attack of the Sword 26? When Jiang Chen was still at the 7th heavenly layer of the Earth Source Realm, he had easily killed the first heavenly source realm serpent dragon with this move. Now that Jiang Chen's cultivation was infinitely close to the 9th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm, he was much stronger than when he fought the Serpent Dragon. Killing a hurricane beast was a piece of cake. Roar. The hurricane beast let out a miserable howl. Its majestic body was cut in half by Jiang Chen's sword. However, the hurricane beast did not die so easily. Its body that was cut in half instantly turned into wind, spreading in all directions. Jiang Chen's sword chi shook again, but the hurricane beast still escaped. In the next moment, the hurricane beast condensed a new body not far away and roared at Jiang Chen. Not bad. Next time, you won't be so lucky. Jiang Chen smiled and continued to attack with his sword. Jiang Chen's divine sense locked onto the hurricane beast. With a sway of his feet, he chased after it. The hurricane beast knew how powerful Jiang Chen was, so it didn't dare to clash with Jiang Chen anymore. It simply pointed its middle finger at Jiang Chen and revealed a provocative smile. After that, it turned into an illusion and went into the hurricane formation. It had to be said that the intelligence of the hurricane beast was quite high. It knew how to make full use of the environment that was advantageous to it. The attack just now had already proved that it was no match for the young man in front of it. Therefore, the hurricane beast wanted to lead the battle into the hurricane formation. However, the hurricane beast was worried that Jiang Chen would not dare to enter, so it raised its middle finger to provoke him. In order to deal with Jiang Chen, it really put in a lot of effort. As you wish. Jiang Chen sneered. His silhouette flickered as he entered the hurricane formation. The hurricane beast wanted to take advantage of the hurricane formation to kill Jiang Chen. However, it did not know that the hurricane formation had no effect on Jiang Chen. The entire hurricane formation in the hurricane heavenly realm was formed by nature. Natural formations were indeed powerful, but Jiang Chen had already reached the pinnacle of formations. No formation was worth mentioning in his eyes. Every hurricane beast born in the hurricane formation was very familiar with the hurricane formation. If someone who didn't understand the formation fell into it, even if he didn't die, he would be strangled by the hurricane beast inside. Within the hurricane formation, there were natural restrictions everywhere. They were variegated and formed ceiling formations. Those who did not understand formations would find it difficult to move an inch in here. This was also the reason why Jiang Chen did not allow Xiaolong to enter, and why he asked Black King to pick out a great demon who knew about formations. A powerful natural formation could be formed by countless restrictions, and it was ever-changing. If someone who did not know anything about formations entered, he or she would definitely be trapped. Edited by Lifer, Fingerfox *roar. The hurricane beast's roar filled the entire hurricane formation. It came from different directions, but it was impossible to see the hurricane beast's figure. A battle like this was undoubtedly extremely terrifying. Your opponent was right beside you, but you had no idea where he was. You had no idea where he would suddenly attack from, not to mention that his opponent was a powerful existence at the second heavenly layer of heavenly origin stage. To put it bluntly, a person who did not understand formations, even a fourth heavenly layer heavenly source expert, would die. They would be exhausted to death by the hurricane beasts. Jiang Chen stood there, allowing the hurricane beast to roar. A smile appeared on his lips as his eyes lit up. The hurricane beast would never have imagined that all of its methods and actions, which it thought to be extremely secretive and unbreakable, would be seen through by Jiang Chen like the back of his hand. The formation in the hurricane formation constantly changed. The hurricane beast used these changes to appear in different places at any time, leaving behind sound waves to confuse Jiang Chen. Little did they know that in Jiang Chen's eyes, the hurricane beast was like a dancing clown, hopping around in front of him. Roar. The hurricane beast let out another roar. It was roaring in front of Jiang Chen, using the sound to attract Jiang Chen's attention. After that, its gigantic body used the ingenuity of the formation and appeared behind Jiang Chen. The hurricane beast extended his claws, silently swiping at Jiang Chen's head from behind. The hurricane beast was pleased with himself. This diversionary tactic had never failed before. A smile filled his face, as if he could already see the scene of Jiang Chen's head being crushed. The hurricane beast was very fast. His claws pierced through Jiang Chen's head, but the next moment, his expression changed drastically. Jiang Chen's figure had disappeared under his claws. An afterimage, cried the hurricane beast. He could not believe his eyes. His opponent's speed had reached a level where he could not even see him clearly. This was ridiculous. To the hurricane beast, this was his territory. No one was more familiar with everything here than he was. If an outsider appeared in any part of the formation, he would be able to clearly sense it. But now, this outsider had disappeared without a trace in front of him, leaving only an afterimage. If this wasn't a ghost, then the opponent was too powerful. And the reality was obviously the second one. The hurricane beast naturally knew the environment inside the hurricane formation like the back of his hand. And so did Jiang Chen. Even though the formation here was ever-changing, Jiang Chen had already grasped everything from the moment he entered. This time there's no way to escape. A cold voice sounded from behind the hurricane beast. The hurricane beast immediately broke out in a cold sweat. An extremely dangerous aura rose. For the first time, the hurricane beast experienced the taste of death. Jiang Chen immediately unleashed the true dragon palm. A giant dragon claw came crashing down and grabbed the hurricane beast's head. This time, Jiang Chen would not give the hurricane beast the slightest chance. With the true dragon palm, he directly controlled the hurricane beast's wind origin. Normally, the hurricane beast would not be so weak, but because of Jiang Chen's afterimage, his mind was in a mess. He completely lost his order. Chapter 42:18. Roar. The hurricane beast struggled violently. It wanted to rely on the environment to turn into a gust of wind and escape, but it no longer stood a chance. No matter how it struggled, it could not break free from Jiang Chen's grasp. Moreover, the fact that the wind origin had been controlled was equivalent to its lifeline. As a result, not only was the hurricane beast unable to escape, its strength had also been restrained. It had become a lamb waiting to be slaughtered in Jiang Chen's hands. No, this is impossible. How can you be so familiar with the environment here? You're just a human, the hurricane beast howled. Even now, it still couldn't believe that this was real. It simply couldn't understand how a human could enter its territory and be more familiar with the environment here than it was. If you don't understand, then don't think about it. I'm going to die anyway, so I might as well save some energy. Jiang Chen said in an indifferent tone. His powerful force shook the giant body of the hurricane beast and took away its origin of wind. My eternal immortal wind is about to evolve after refining this wind origin energy. Let's see how powerful it is when I use it later. Jiang Chen smiled. He devoured the wind origin energy and refined it on the spot. Boom! Violent wind energy wreaked havoc in Jiang Chen's body. The wind origin energy of the second heavenly layer hurricane beast had brought Jiang Chen more benefits than all the wind origin energy he had absorbed before. Moreover, the powerful wind origin energy did not just increase the evolution of his eternal immortal wind. It also had an impact on Jiang Chen's cultivation. Although the impact was not great, it was very real. Jiang Chen's cultivation was extremely close to the 9th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm, and he could break through at any time. However, Jiang Chen understood his own situation very well. With his current foundation, he would need to refine a 3rd heavenly layer heavenly source wind origin energy to reach the 9th heavenly layer in the hurricane heavenly region. Moreover, the eternal immortal wind would undergo a complete metamorphosis after refining the 3rd heavenly layer heavenly origin wind origin, fusing with the eternal world. One must know that this eternity was incomparable to other eternity. In other words, the eternal celestial wind that had merged with the wind origin of the eternal world was the true eternal celestial wind. Only then was it truly worthy of the word eternity. After killing the leader of the hurricane beasts, Jiang Chen's figure flashed as he exited the hurricane array. The ever-changing hurricane array posed no threat or hindrance to Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen could enter and exit as he pleased. It was too easy. Outside the hurricane formation, over 100 hurricane beasts had surrounded Xiao Long and a Huang dog. Xiao Long and a Huang dog were no match for such a formation. However, the two of them were not easy to deal with either. They had great teamwork, and although they could not defeat them, they could rely on their movement techniques to move about the battlefield. Even 7 or 8 first heavenly layer hurricane beasts were unable to capture Xiao Long and a Huang dog in a short period of time. Wakaka, kid, you're getting more and more experienced in battle. The Huang dog cackled. He did not forget to praise Xiao Long as he tangled with the hurricane beasts. It had to be said that Xiao Long's talent could be said to be one of a kind in the world. No matter what he learned, he gave others a feeling of success when the conditions were right, like a hot knife cutting through butter. You two get out of the way. Jiang Chen walked out and yelled at Xiao Long and a Huang dog. The man and the dog didn't hesitate. They flashed out of the battlefield and became bystanders. Is Big Brother going to fight alone? Xiao Long's face was filled with anticipation. If I'm not wrong, this kid is going to test out the power of the eternal celestial wind. De Huang dog shook his head. Jiang Chen moved as soon as De Huang dog finished speaking. Eternal celestial wind. Jiang Chen let out a roar and unleashed the eternal celestial wind. In an instant, endless waves of wind swept out. The entire hurricane sky region was filled with violent tornadoes. All of Jiang Chen's hurricane beasts were sucked into the tornadoes. My heavens, so powerful. The eternal celestial wind looks even more powerful than the hurricane formation. It has turned into countless tornadoes, but those hurricane beasts are still alive? Xiao Long was extremely excited. The eternal celestial wind from Jiang Chen was extremely powerful. The scene it created was even more spectacular than the hurricane formation. If they did not see it with their own eyes, they would not believe it. Awoo! Miserable cries were heard one after another. The eternal celestial wind was a killing move with a large area of effect. Once it was unleashed, the sky and earth would change color, and even ghosts and gods would not be able to survive. Jiang Chen waved his hand, causing the origin of wind to automatically rush out from the eternal celestial wind and fall into Jiang Chen's hand. Holy shit, that's a wind origin harvester. Those hurricane beasts are too weak to withstand a single blow from the eternal celestial wind. Xiao Long could not help cursing. It was too terrifying. The scene was too spectacular. After a while, the waves of wind disappeared, replaced by a terrifying scene. Wherever the eternal celestial wind passed, hundreds of hurricane beasts had all disappeared. They had died a miserable death. All the origin of wind was harvested by Jiang Chen. Oh my god, did you take some medicine? De Huang dog jumped to Jiang Chen's side and said gloomily. He had seen amazing people, but he had never seen someone this amazing. Even the hurricane beasts of the first heavenly source realm were killed by Jiang Chen in a single move. Looks like your eternal celestial wind has truly evolved. Its power has reached such a level. De Huang dog said with a sigh. That's right. Once the eternal immortal wind's transformation is complete, it will be able to continuously increase its power along with my cultivation base. Naturally, this technique is extremely frightening. You should know that once the eternal immortal wind is utilized, it will be able to form a domain, a powerful gale domain. It is even more tyrannical than the hurricane array here. Jiang Chen smiled. He knew the eternal celestial wind too well. Back when he was fighting against the northern and southern dynasties in the Saint Origin world, he had almost suffered a great loss because of this skill. Now that the eternal celestial wind had evolved, Jiang Chen had obtained a powerful skill and trump card. It was naturally something worth celebrating. It could be said that he was extremely lucky to pass through the hurricane heavenly domain on his way to the Qizhong domain. If Jiang Chen's thoughts were to be spread out, many people would die of anger. One should know that countless cultivators were terrified of the hurricane heavenly domain. But in Jiang Chen's eyes, being able to come here was an incomparably lucky thing. Wasn't this infuriating? Refine some of these origin of wind. I can see that your cultivation base is about to reach the 9th heavenly layer of the earth source realm. These origin of wind can help you. The black wind heavenly domain is a good place. We'll stay here for a while and reach the heavenly source realm when we reach the Qizhong domain. Chapter 42:19. Jiang Chen had his own considerations. The Crimson Middle region was different from the Crimson East region and the Crimson South region. There were so many experts here that even heavenly source experts were nothing. It would be extremely difficult for earthly source experts to thrive here. If the three of them could all reach the heavenly source realm, they wouldn't be too passive in the Crimson Middle region. Going to the Crimson Middle region and the Heavenly Hurricane region was probably the best opportunity for them to reach the Heavenly Source realm. If they didn't seize this opportunity, it wouldn't be so easy for them to reach the Heavenly Source realm. Xiao Long and a Huang dog nodded. They knew what they would face in the Crimson Middle region. The journey to the biggest stage of the Crimson Afterglow star domain would definitely not be easy. Jiang Chen had powerful enemies. Just as the Emperor of the Yunqiu nation had said, the news of him killing the Yu clan in the Crimson East region had probably already spread to the Crimson Middle region. The experts of the Yu clan in the Crimson Middle region were all waiting for him. To put it bluntly, once Jiang Chen arrived in the Crimson Middle region, he would face the pressure of the entire Yu clan. This pressure was much greater than when he was in the Crimson East region. After all, Jiang Chen had annihilated the winged men at Broken Feilu. The winged race didn't really care about the remaining winged men. But now it was different. Jiang Chen had killed the entire winged race of a major domain. This had crossed the line. Apart from the pressure of the entire Yu clan, Jiang Chen had more important things to do, which was to help Empress Lin prove her identity. Proving Lin Chaofeng's identity was an extremely difficult task. He didn't know the situation in the Lin Kingdom, but the Lin Chaofeng that the Yu clan had transformed into must be deeply rooted in the Lin Kingdom. It wouldn't be easy to topple her. She was a powerful Star Lord, or even a Star Emperor expert. De Huang Dog and Xiao Long devoured a large amount of wind origin. De Huang Dog, in particular, crunched the wind origin like a jelly bean. Big Yellow and Xiao Long advanced one after another, breaking through to the 9th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm. As their cultivation level continued to improve, they would be able to walk in the Hurricane Heavenly region like fish in water. Big brother, I've advanced. I feel like my battle prowess has increased by several times. Xiao Long said excitedly. Yeah, not bad, but it's still not enough. I plan on staying in the Hurricane Heavenly region for a month. I'll leave after I reach the Heavenly Source stage. Jiang Chen said. Okay, it's fun here. I like it. Xiao Long was beaming with joy. Lord Dog likes it too. De Huang Dog was naturally excited. He didn't want to leave such an exciting place. Jiang Chen refined all of the remaining wind essence to improve the grade of his eternal immortal wind. At the same time, his own cultivation base was also enhanced. It was a pity that 7 or 8 first heavenly origin realm wind essences weren't enough to push Jiang Chen's cultivation any further. Looks like I'll need the 3rd heavenly layer heavenly source wind origin, Jiang Chen said. At that moment, a black shadow appeared. The Black King appeared in front of Jiang Chen. Master. The Black King took out a piece of wind origin and handed it to Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen's eyes immediately lit up. The 3rd heavenly source wind origin really could get anything he wanted. Jiang Chen had to praise the Black King. The Black King's ability was probably much greater than he had imagined. To be able to kill a hurricane beast of the same level in the Hurricane Heavenly region was enough to show his strength. Very good. Go on. Jiang Chen took the wind origin and waved at the Black King. The Black King disappeared with a flash. The Black King had only brought back a single piece of wind origin after leaving for so long. Jiang Chen had personally fought with the hurricane beasts in the hurricane formation, so he knew how advantageous the environment was to the hurricane beasts and how difficult they were to deal with. As a result, it was already difficult for the Black King to kill a 3rd heavenly layer hurricane beast. This was enough to show the Black King's ability. No wonder he was Longfootu's subordinate. A 3rd heavenly source wind origin. Little Chenzi, your eternal immortal wind is about to evolve to perfection. Once it's perfect, it'll be completely acknowledged by the laws of the eternal world. Your eternal immortal wind will be able to continuously increase in quality along with your cultivation. Not bad, not bad. De Huang Dog said. Yes. That's not all. My cultivation is already infinitely close to the 9th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm. If I refine this wind origin wind, not only will my eternal immortal wind evolve to the 9th heavenly layer, my cultivation will also reach the 9th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm. At that time, the Hurricane Heavenly region will be nothing to me. Jiang Chen smiled. As his cultivation and strength increased, the Hurricane Heavenly region would not pose much of a threat to him. Once the Black King reached the 4th heavenly layer of the Heavenly Source realm and they all reached the Heavenly Source realm, the Hurricane Heavenly region would be nothing to them. Jiang Chen currently felt an impulse and pride. He wanted to dominate this place and conquer the entire Hurricane Heavenly region. This was Jiang Chen. No matter where he went, he wanted to leave behind his own legend, to carve his, Jiang Chen's, mark. The Crimson East region was like that, and the Hurricane Heavenly region was the same. In the future, the Crimson Mid region was destined to become a turbulent place with his arrival. Without any hesitation, Jiang Chen devoured the wind origin wind in his hand and quickly began to refine it. Crack crack. It had to be said that the 3rd heavenly source wind origin wind was indeed powerful. Jiang Chen's cultivation immediately broke through to the 9th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm. A large number of origin stones were absorbed by Jiang Chen as if they were free. The current Jiang Chen didn't have to worry about dawn stones at all. His wealth was too abundant. The wealth that Empress Lin had left for him was enough for him to break through to the Star-Lord realm. The current Jiang Chen could break through whenever he wanted. The last thing he was afraid of was exhaustion. He could endure it no matter how great the exhaustion was. Aside from reaching the 9th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm, the eternal immortal wind had reached perfection as he wished. Jiang Chen could clearly feel that the eternal immortal wind in his body had completely reached the level of an eternal world. It had become the eternal immortal wind in the truest sense of the word. Jiang Chen's aura fluctuated as the eternal immortal wind rushed out from his body. It drifted back and forth, turning into tornadoes. Every single one of the tornadoes was as sharp as a blade. They were terrifying and possessed astonishing destructive power. The eternal immortal wind has evolved perfectly. My cultivation has reached the 9th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm. With my current strength, killing a 3rd heavenly layer heavenly source expert is a piece of cake. Jiang Chen smiled. He had always yearned for the path of cultivation where he could constantly advance. He liked the process and the carefree feeling. As a result, when he learned of the existence of an eternal world from Pangu and Hongjun, his silent heart became restless. This trip to an eternal world was a must. Chapter 42:20. The three brothers had all reached the 9th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm, and each of their foundations were stronger than the last. There was no need to mention Jiang Chen and De Huang Dog, but Xiaolong was an anomaly, an existence that could not be explained. The three brothers' strength increased once again as they continued to travel through the hurricane heavenly region. Wherever they passed by a hurricane formation, they would charge in and slaughter the hurricane beasts. De Huang Dog would bring Xiaolong along when they came across an ordinary hurricane formation, treating it as a game. At the same time, under De Huang Dog's guidance, Xiaolong gradually began to understand the way of formations and developed a great interest in it. What made everyone speechless was that the little fellow learned everything extremely quickly. He could even comprehend the complicated way of formations very quickly. In the blink of an eye, a dozen days passed. Jiang Chen and the others had arrived at the center of the hurricane heavenly region. After a dozen days of learning, a few simple formations were no longer able to trap Xiaolong. However, Jiang Chen and the others had no choice but to be extremely careful now that they had arrived at the center of the hurricane heavenly region. The hurricanes here were clearly much more violent than before. Who knew how many powerful hurricane beasts were hidden in the many powerful hurricane formations? Over the past dozen days, Jiang Chen and the others' cultivations had increased again due to their constant absorption of the wind origin energy. Jiang Chen's cultivation had all reached the peak of the 9th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm. What was even more exciting was that the Black King had successfully broken through to the 4th heavenly layer of the Heavenly Source realm. Coupled with the great demons in Dragon Palace, the battle prowess they possessed was enough for Jiang Chen to become the king of the Hurricane Heavenly region. De Huang Dog and Xiaolong's cultivations were already extremely close to the Heavenly Source realm. After absorbing so much wind origin energy, not only had their cultivation increased by quite a lot, their speed had also increased. There was no need to mention De Huang Dog. His speed was already unparalleled in the world, so there was little room for him to improve. However, Xiaolong was different. This little guy was in the stage of rapid growth. His comprehension in all aspects far surpassed that of ordinary people. This was the time when he improved the fastest. The group flew for another 100 miles. Suddenly, an extremely strong battle shockwave appeared in front of them. A wild roar came from afar, and a large part of the hurricane area was stirred up. There's a battle ahead. De Huang Dog's eyes lit up. There are other people in the hurricane heavenly region. Let's go take a look. Jiang Chen's aura shook as he flew forward. The Black King followed closely behind him. This was the most dangerous place in the hurricane sky region. Although Jiang Chen's cultivation had been improving, the Black King was still worried. They traveled another several dozen miles in an instant. A chaotic battlefield appeared before them, filled with hurricane beasts. There were at least 200 to 300 of them, and there were several dozen heavenly source hurricane beasts. The leading hurricane beast was several hundred meters long, and its cultivation had reached the 3rd heavenly layer. This was a hurricane beast tide. Within the beast tide, 5 or 6 heavenly source youngsters were charging left and right. They were in an extremely miserable state, and all of them had suffered rather heavy injuries. They were currently surrounded by the beast tide, and their lives were hanging by a thread. There were 6 of them, 1 woman and 5 men. The woman was dressed in purple and seemed to be in her 20s. She had a graceful figure and a beautiful face. Whether it was her appearance or presence, she did not lose to Chen Iran of the Crimson East region. Even in the Crimson Middle region, such a beauty was enough to cause the downfall of a city. More importantly, not only was the woman beautiful, her cultivation was impressive as well. She had already reached the 3rd heavenly layer of heavenly source at such a young age. Beside her were 2 second heavenly layer heavenly source experts and 3 first heavenly layer heavenly source experts. With such cultivation and lineup, they would be considered as overlords in the Crimson Middle region. There was not a single heavenly source genius in the entire Crimson Middle region. From their cultivation alone, it was possible to determine that they were from the Crimson Middle region. They had come from the center of the Crimson Cloud star boundary. The 6 of them were currently in a predicament. Surrounded by so many hurricane beasts, coupled with the advantage of the environment, there was only one fate awaiting them if the battle continued: death. It's over. We're going to die here. I don't want to die. Stop talking. Let's think of a way to help the second young miss escape. Their faces were filled with despair. It could be seen that although the 5 of them had low cultivations, they had been protecting the purple-robed woman with their lives. From this, it could be seen that the purple-robed woman was quite important in this group of people. Arg! A miserable shriek rang out. A young man at the 1st heavenly layer of heavenly source was torn to shreds by several hurricane beasts. The hurricane beasts were extremely brutal, devouring his corpse on the spot. The scene was extremely eerie and terrifying, enough to make one's hair stand on end. The scene was just too brutal. The faces of the others, including the purple-clothed woman, all paled. They were in complete despair. They had never imagined that they would encounter such a scene before entering the heavenly wind region. The hurricane beast tide was just too terrifying. They could not help but despair. The difference in strength was just too great. If they continued to fight, everyone would die, including the second young miss whom they had wholeheartedly protected. Even a 3rd heavenly layer heavenly source expert would not be able to escape. In the end, they would follow in the footsteps of the young man. Help them! Shouted Jiang Chen. With that, Xiao Long and a Huang dog charged out like sharp swords. With their current strength, they could easily crush a 1st heavenly layer heavenly source expert. Even a normal 2nd heavenly layer heavenly source expert would not be their opponent. There was only 1/3 heavenly layer heavenly origin expert present, and He Wang had directly crushed him. He Wang, a 4th heavenly layer heavenly origin expert, had slain a 3rd heavenly layer hurricane beast. Let alone here, even if they were in the hurricane formation, it would be an instant kill. Oh, Xiao Long and a Huang dog charged into the hurricane beast tide like 2 cannonballs exploding into a body of water. The waves they kicked up were just too great. They were unstoppable wherever they passed. The miserable shrieks of the hurricane beasts filled the air as they died in large numbers. The Black King whistled. With a flash, he arrived before a 3rd heavenly layer hurricane beast and killed it with a single slap. The wind origin energy was in the Black King's hand. This was a truly loyal subordinate. He did not forget to fight for his master's interests even in battle. Next, the Black King slapped the heavenly source hurricane beasts one by one. Before the Black King, the heavenly source hurricane beasts were like ants, dying in a line. In just 10 breaths, several dozen heavenly source hurricane beasts had died at the hands of the Black King. Chapter 42-21. The woman in purple and the others were stunned. They had just breathed a sigh of relief, but they were still rooted to the spot, unable to react to the sudden turn of events. They had originally been in a situation of certain death and endless despair. The despair of struggling on the brink of hell and dangling from the gates of hell had suddenly been pulled back by someone. Their only thought was that it was great to be alive. Their hearts were filled with excitement, but even more than that, they were shocked. The 3 figures that had suddenly appeared were ridiculously powerful, especially the middle-aged man in battle armor. He had killed all the heavenly source hurricane beasts with a single slap. The scene was too shocking, too impactful. It was one thing for the man in black to be powerful, but the 10-year-old boy and a Huang dog were also ferocious. They were like tigers that had entered a flock of sheep, slaughtering the hurricane beasts until they could not retaliate at all. My God, that boy and dog are only at the peak of the Earth Source stage, but they're so powerful. I definitely wouldn't be their match if I were to fight any one of them. Why haven't I heard of such monstrous geniuses before? Some people were shocked, their gazes towards Xiaolong changing. It was impossible for them not to know about such a heaven-defying child in the Scarlet Mid-region, because anyone with such cultivation and battle prowess at such a young age would have long become famous. A few minutes later, a large number of hurricane beasts were killed. The remaining ones fled in all directions, disappearing without a trace. The threat of the hurricane beast horde had been easily dealt with just like that. The chaotic battlefield instantly quietened down, as if nothing had happened at all. The Black King turned around and arrived before Jiang Chen, who was watching the show nearby. He respectfully handed the wind origin to Jiang Chen, master. At the same time, Xiaolong and a Huang dog arrived beside Jiang Chen, one on the left and one on the right. Upon seeing this, the purple-clothed lady's gaze involuntarily fell onto Jiang Chen. Based on the Black King and the other two's actions, even a fool could tell that the white-clothed youth was the leader of the trio. They looked at each other as shock flooded their eyes. They began to guess the origins of this white-clothed young man. He actually had a fourth heavenly layer heavenly origin expert following him. However, none of this was important. What was important was that they had to go up and thank him for saving their lives. The lady in purple brought a few severely injured youths to Jiang Chen. She cupped her fists and said, "Azi thanks young master for saving our life. Don't worry, we're just passing by." Jiang Chen said indifferently and didn't take it seriously. Rumble. Before the woman in purple could answer, another deafening roar came from the hurricane formation in front of them. The expressions of Azi and the other young men changed drastically. "Senior Brother Zhao. It's Senior Brother Zhao. Aya, we forgot about Senior Brother Zhao." Someone exclaimed. "What's going on?" Jiang Chen asked. "Young master, Senior Brother Zhao is trapped in the hurricane formation. Please save him. Kirin Province will definitely repay your kindness today," Azi hurriedly said. Azi quickly said. Her tone was filled with pleading. The others also looked nervous. It was obvious that Senior Brother Zhao had a very important place in their hearts. "What's the cultivation of your young master Zhao?" Jiang Chen said. He wouldn't do anything that he wasn't confident about. There were dangers everywhere in Dark Wind Heavenly Region, especially now that they were at the center of the region. He had to be extra careful. Before he saved them, he had to know young Master Zhao's cultivation base. Fourth heavenly layer heavenly origin. Someone said. Yes. Jiang Chen nodded. It was extremely normal for a fourth heavenly layer heavenly origin expert to be trapped in the very center of the Dark Wind Heavenly Region. After all, there were fourth heavenly layer hurricane beasts in there. Moreover, the largest hurricane formation there was. If an ordinary person was not proficient in formations, they would not be able to escape once they entered. Even without the threat of the hurricane beasts, the hurricane formation alone was enough. De Huang, Black King, go in and save them, Jiang Chen said. All right. Yes, master. De Huang Dog and the Black King charged into the hurricane formation one after the other. One was filled with excitement, while the other listened to Jiang Chen. Young master, I forgot to remind you that there's a fourth heavenly layer hurricane beast king in the hurricane formation. It's extremely powerful, Azi hurriedly said. She could not hide the worry on her face. Although the Black King was very powerful, his cultivation was only at the same level as Senior Zhao, let alone the dog. It was not even at the heavenly source stage. The environment of the hurricane formation gave the hurricane beasts a unique advantage. If they entered recklessly, they would probably be in danger. Hey Wang, you're right. These people in front of them had saved them once. If Black King and Big Yellow were trapped in the hurricane formation because they didn't tell them the situation clearly, Z would feel very guilty. That's right, Big Yellow, Black King, and Big Yellow. It's fine. Jiang Chen smiled. His face was filled with confidence. He was naturally confident. With the Black King's strength and De Huang's profound mastery of formations, they would be able to move through the hurricane formation like it was flat ground. They would not be obstructed at all. Let alone a single fourth heavenly layer hurricane beast. Even two of them would be dead for sure. Moreover, there was Senior Zhao as well. The girl mentioned Kirin Province. From the name, they could tell that he was no ordinary person. He was probably from a large organization in the Scarlet Mid-region. A genius from a large organization who had reached the fourth heavenly layer of heavenly origin at such a young age should not be too weak. Just the Black King was enough. With Senior Zhao's assistance, the fate of the hurricane beast did not need to be said. Asterisk roar. Asterisk as expected, an earth-shaking roar rang out as soon as the Black King and a Huang dog entered the hurricane formation. The roar was filled with rage and misery, enough to make anyone's hair stand on end. The expressions of Zi and the disciples of Kirin province changed a few times. The disturbance in the hurricane formation was proof of the intensity of the battle inside. Soon, the roar disappeared. De Huang dog had ripped a hole in the hurricane formation and 3 figures walked out. De Huang dog and the Black King were in high spirits. Their presences were the same as before they had entered, without any changes. Beside them was an extremely miserable young man. He wore black clothes and seemed to be around 25 or 26 years old. His face was pale and his clothes were tattered. Many parts of his clothes had been dyed red with blood. Senior Zhao. Zi and the others hurriedly went up to him when they saw him. Blood spurted from Senior Zhao's mouth as his presence became extremely weak. He had clearly suffered quite a few injuries in the hurricane formation, and was at the end of his tether. If the Black King and De Huang had entered a little later, Senior Zhao would have probably died. Chapter 42-22. Senior brother, how are you? Zi went up to show her concern. Second miss, I'm fine. It's all thanks to the 2 of you. Senior brother Zhao's tone was extremely respectful to Zi, which was enough to show that Zi's status in Kirin province was extraordinary. Afterwards, Senior brother Zhao walked up to the Black King and a Huang dog and bowed deeply. I, Zhao Xian, am unable to repay the 2 of you for saving my life. Zhao Xian's eyes were filled with shock as well as gratitude. He had clearly seen what had happened in the hurricane formation earlier. The Black King had been domineering, slaying a 4th heavenly layer hurricane beast with his bare hands. His battle prowess was terrifying. He was a genius, but he could not help but admit that even if he was not injured, he would not have been the Black King's opponent in his peak condition. As for the De Huang dog that did not even seem to have reached the heavenly soar stage, Zhao Xian could not help but prostrate himself in admiration. If it were not for the dog's understanding of the formation, it would not have been easy for the Black King to slay the 4th heavenly layer hurricane beast king in the hurricane formation no matter how powerful he was. No need to thank me. Thank my master. Black King crossed his arms in front of his chest, his face cold. Apart from Jiang Chen, he wouldn't put anyone else in his eyes. He would only listen to Jiang Chen's orders. The Black King naturally had the right to be arrogant. He was once a powerful Star Emperor expert. Even though his current strength was less than 1,000th of his original strength, his vision was still there, and his noble aura was still there. Back then, the Pagoda army was extremely powerful. In front of the Black King, people like Zhao Xian in front of him were like small shrimps, not worth mentioning. Zhao Xian was stunned, before looking towards Jiang Chen. Senior brother Zhao, we were also saved by our benefactor. We were trapped in the hurricane beast tide. If not for the young master and the others, we would have been dead by now. He and Zhao Xian were both prideful people. Normally, they would not even spare a second glance at a 9th heavenly layer earth source expert like Jiang Chen. Even now, they had no idea how strong Jiang Chen was. Even if he had some talent, he was still lacking compared to them. However, they did not dare to slight Jiang Chen, because this young man in white was the true leader of the group. Even the terrifying Black King had to address him as master. Moreover, Zi knew very well that it was Jiang Chen who had ordered the Black King and a Huang dog to enter the hurricane formation to save the others. In other words, their real savior was Jiang Chen. May I know benefactor's name? Zhao Xian made a fist salute to Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen said indifferently. A real man would never change his name. Jiang Chen? Why does this name sound so familiar? Zi frowned. She felt that the name sounded extremely familiar, but she could not remember where she had heard it before. Second lady, the Qizhong region is too big. It's normal to have similar names. Someone said. No, that's not right. I must have heard this name somewhere. Zi shook her head. Qidong region, Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen continued. He had basically guessed why Zi was familiar with his name. It must have been because the incident in the Qidong region had spread to the Qizhong region. As the second lady of Kirin province, Zi had a high status, so she could hear some news from the higher-ups. As for the others, they probably did not know his name. Qidong region? Brother Jiang came from the Qidong region? Zhao Xian was surprised. It was hundreds of millions of miles from the Qidong region to here. The fact that Jiang Chen could come all the way to the Hurricane Sky region was enough to prove his ability. Qidong region, I know. You are Jiang Chen, the Jiang Chen who wiped out the entire Feather Clan in the Qidong region all by himself. Zi suddenly recalled the origin of this name and jumped up on the spot. When she looked at Jiang Chen again, she couldn't help but be infatuated with Jiang Chen, and her eyes were slowly filled with worship. What? Zhao Xian and the others exclaimed at the same time. They looked at Zi in shock, wondering if they had heard it wrong. They did not know about the news in the Qidong region. However, if what Zi said was true, then this Jiang Chen was too powerful. They knew how powerful the Feather Clan was. Even in the Qizhong region, the Feather Clan was the biggest enemy of the Human Clan. Wiping out an entire region of harpies single-handedly was an incredible feat. If the second young miss hadn't said this herself, they would have never believed it even if they were beaten to death. It's an exaggeration, but the Feather Clan in the Qidong region was indeed wiped out. Jiang Chen said lightly. He did not hide his identity. His identity could not be hidden anyway. Since Zi knew about him, the Feather Clan must have known about him. Just as the Emperor of Yunqiu country said, he would be targeted by the Feather Clan as soon as he arrived in the Qizhong region. Oh my god! Zi covered her mouth and stared at Jiang Chen with her big bright eyes. She was so lucky to see him in person here. Zhao Xian and the others sighed. Jiang Chen's words had undoubtedly admitted his identity. Oh my god, the Feather Clan in the Qidong region was wiped out. That's amazing. Wiping out the entire Feather Clan by himself? That's unbelievable. From now on, I'm going to admire him. That's right. Jiang Chen saved our lives. There's no reason not to admire him. All of a sudden, they began to admire Jiang Chen infinitely. They were grateful to him for saving their lives, but after hearing Jiang Chen's story, they felt completely different. Before I left for Hurricane Heavenly Domain, I heard my father talking about this matter. He said that the situation in Scarlet East Domain had changed. A man named Jiang Chen had emerged from the U-race and eliminated the entire U-race single-handedly. I didn't expect to meet him here, and young Master Jiang has saved our lives. What a coincidence! Zi said excitedly. Brother Jiang, it's your first time in the Qizhong region. Why don't you come with us to Kirin province? With the world-shaking things you did in the Scarlet East region, the higher-ups of the Qilin Mansion will definitely welcome you. Zhao Xian said. Yes, Master Jiang. My father said that the Feather Clan has already put you on their kill list. I'm afraid that once you go to the Qizhong region, you will be hunted down by them. The Feather Clan has a special ability. They can definitely find you. Zi nodded hurriedly. Obviously, she hoped that Jiang Chen could join Kirin province. Jiang Chen didn't doubt Zi's words. He had already experienced the special ability of the Feather Clan. What happened in the Qidong region must have been spread to the Qizhong region by the Feather Clan. They even knew his name. As for how the Feather Clan knew, Jiang Chen didn't want to know. There was no need for him to know. Anyway, he and the Feather Clan were destined to be enemies. Chapter 42-23. It's my first time in the Red Middle Territory, so I know nothing about it. Brother Zhao and Lady Azzi will tell me a thing or two. Jiang Chen said. This time, he came to Qizhong region with a clear purpose. The reason why Jiang Chen revealed his identity was that he wanted to inquire about the general situation of Qizhong region from the people of Kirin province. Kirin province was definitely not an ordinary force in the Qizhong region. It could be seen from Zi's and the others' cultivation level that they must be filled with geniuses. As the second daughter of Kirin province, Zi even knew her own name. Naturally, she knew the general situation of Qizhong region like the back of her hand. Jiang Chen had to inquire about the situation of the Lin Kingdom. This time, he had a hidden enemy, the fake Empress Lin in the Lin Kingdom. Speaking of the Red Middle region, Mr. Jiang has asked the right people. As people of Kirin province, there is nothing in the Red Middle region that we don't know. Zi swung her ponytail, looking rather playful. Brother Jiang, there are 3 hostile races in the Red Middle region. The Human Clan, the Feather Clan, and the Elven Clan. The 3 are vying for hegemony, and all of them want to dominate this large region. You should know that dominating the Red Middle region is equivalent to dominating the entire Red Cloud astral boundary. I won't talk about the Feather Clan, as you've dealt with them in the Red East region, so you know them better. The Elven clan is a special race. They have a small population, but each of them has a unique talent. They are good at disguising themselves, casting curses, and using all kinds of strange means that are impossible to guard against. To put it bluntly, if the number of the Elven clan was the same as the human clan, the Elven clan would have dominated the Red Middle region long ago. Zhao Xian said. Another elf. Haha, this eternal world is getting more and more interesting. De Huang Dog laughed out loud. Hearing about the elf clan, not only did he not feel the slightest bit of fear, but he was also very excited. This dog was not a quiet dog. The more lively and extraordinary the Red Middle territory was, the more complicated the forces were, the more excited he was. His days in the Red Middle territory were destined to not be lonely anymore. Let's talk about the human race. I heard that there's a country called Lin in the Crimson East region. Jiang Chen asked. I didn't expect Brother Jiang to know about the Lin Kingdom, but this is normal. After all, the Lin Kingdom is very famous. To put it bluntly, the entire human race of the Red Mid region is under the jurisdiction of the Lin Kingdom. Zhao Xian said. Jiang Chen nodded. From what Zhao Xian had said, he basically understood a little. The Lin Kingdom in the Red Middle region was like the Marshall Pavilion in the Red East region. It was the largest force of the human race. In this case, it seemed that it would take Jiang Chen a long time to deal with the fake Empress Lin. There are hundreds and thousands of human forces in the Red Middle region, but basically, they are all under the jurisdiction of the Lin Kingdom. The most famous ones are the 4 mansions and 1 battalion, which are directly affiliated to the Lin Kingdom's royal family. The so-called 4 mansions are the Azure Dragon House, the White Tiger House, the Black Warrior House, and the Kirin Province. The Vermilion Bird Camp is the army of the Lin Kingdom. Those who can enter the Vermilion Bird Camp are all true experts. Even the geniuses of the 4 mansions dream of being chosen by the Vermilion Bird Camp one day. After all, the Vermilion Bird Camp is the royal army of the Lin Kingdom. Z said. Jiang Chen sighed. 4 mansions and 1 battalion. It seemed that the Lin Kingdom was the real overlord of the Red Middle region. 4 mansions and 1 battalion. Most of the top talents of the entire Red Middle region were gathered here. Our Kirin province is one of the 4 mansions. Today, we met in the Hurricane Sky region. It can be said that we are fated to meet each other. Young Master Jiang saved our lives, and Z can't repay your kindness. Now, on behalf of the Kirin province, I would like to invite young Master Jiang to join us. What do you think? Z cupped her fists at Jiang Chen and directly extended an olive branch. The faces of the others were filled with envy. In the Red Mid domain, it was a great honor to be able to join the Qilin Mansion. Countless people tried their best to join the Qilin Mansion, but Jiang Chen was personally invited by the second miss of the Qilin Mansion. Of course, no matter how envious they were, they all hoped that Jiang Chen could join the Kirin province. Not to mention anything else, they had a good impression of Jiang Chen. After all, he had saved their lives. In addition, they knew that Jiang Chen was qualified to join the Kirin province. Jiang Chen's fame alone was enough. A powerful figure who could kill the Feather Clan in the Red East region. Once he came to the Red Middle region, all the forces would fight for him crazily. If the Kirin province didn't act in advance, he might be won over by the other 3 mansions. Okay. Jiang Chen didn't think too much and immediately nodded his head in agreement. Under the circumstances where he didn't have a clear understanding of Lin Guo's situation, Jiang Chen might still have some doubts about the Qilin Manor's recruitment. But now that he knew of Lin Guo's situation, this Qilin Manor was undoubtedly the best place to go. The Qilin Mansion was the power closest to the Lin country's royal family. If he wanted to get in touch with the foundation of the Lin country, there was no other place more suitable than the Qilin Mansion. It seemed that saving them today wasn't completely without benefits. If he didn't know Zi and Zhao Xian, he would have to start from scratch after entering the Scarlet Mid-region. If he wanted to join the Qilin Mansion, it wouldn't be that easy. That's great, Mr. Jiang. We are going back now. Mr. Jiang, come with us. Z said excitedly. That's right. There will be a training in the Kirin province in a month. If we rush back now, we can make it in time. Zhao Xian said. Being able to invite Jiang Chen to go with them to Kirin province was exactly what Zhao Xian wanted to see. I still want to stay in the Hurricane Heavenly region for a while. You guys go back first. I will personally go to the Kirin province when the time comes. Jiang Chen said. He didn't want to leave the Black Wind Heavenly region right now. He had just arrived at the center of the Black Wind Heavenly region, and there were still many benefits waiting for him. Let alone the other things. Just the wind origin was a fortune. Kirin Province was a place where geniuses gathered and experts were everywhere. Earthly source experts would only be able to do odd jobs there. After all, it was one of the 4 mansions of the Lin country, the strongest force in the Red Middle region. It was not something ordinary forces could compare to. There was no point in going to Kirin Province without reaching the Heavenly Source realm. Moreover, Jiang Chen had already decided to stay in the Hurricane Heavenly region until the 3 brothers reached the Heavenly Source realm. After all, it would be difficult to find another good training ground in the Red Middle region once they left. Chapter 42-24. Hearing that Jiang Chen couldn't go to Kirin Province with them, Zhao Xian and Zi were both disappointed. However, Jiang Chen had his own things to do, so they couldn't force him. For them, it was already a blessing that they could survive today. Well, young Master Jiang has his own things to do. We can't force him. I happen to have a jade plate of Kirin Province here. This jade plate is the symbol of Kirin Province. With this jade plate, young Master Jiang will be a disciple of Kirin Province from now on. With this jade plate, young Master Jiang will be a disciple of Kirin Province. When you leave Hurricane Sky region, you can directly enter Kirin Province with this jade plate. Zi waved her hand and took out a golden jade plate. The jade plate was heavy and seemed to be very heavy. One side was carved with a Qilin picture, and the other side was carved with the word Lin. This jade plate belonged to Kirin Province of the Great Lin Empire. Every disciple of Kirin Province had one. It was the symbol of Kirin Province. With this jade plate, one could do whatever he wanted in Red Middle region. No disciple of Kirin Province dared to offend him. Okay, I will take this jade plate. When I arrive in Red Middle region, I will definitely go to Kirin Province. Jiang Chen put away the jade plate. Even if Zi didn't say anything, the first thing Jiang Chen would do when he arrived in Red Middle region was to go to Kirin Province. Only when he arrived in Kirin Province could he have a chance to get in touch with the core of the Great Lin Empire. In that case, Brother Jiang, we will leave now. Zhao Xian cupped his hands to Jiang Chen. Yes, Brother Zhao, be careful on the way. Jiang Chen said. It's okay. We have already figured out the way here. It is not a problem to leave Hurricane Sky region. Zhao Xian said. We will wait for Brother Jiang in Kirin Province. That's right. When we arrive in Kirin Province, if Brother Jiang is worried about us, we will do our best. The other disciples of Kirin Province all cupped their fists towards Jiang Chen. After Jiang Chen received the jade token, they even addressed Jiang Chen as senior brother, showing that they were extremely respectful. In reality, they had no idea how strong Jiang Chen was, because Jiang Chen had not fought a single time. Which disciple of Kirin Province wasn't prideful? They would only call those stronger than them senior brother. For those like Jiang Chen who had yet to reach Heavenly Source, they would only call him senior brother because Jiang Chen had saved their lives. In their hearts, even Zhao Xian and Zi did not think highly of Jiang Chen's strength. After all, Jiang Chen was only at the 9th heavenly layer of the Earth Source realm. There was a huge gap between them. Even if he managed to wipe out the entire Feather Clan in the Crimson East region, it would not have been Jiang Chen's own strength, but his powerful subordinates. Of course, the fact that he could gather such powerful subordinates was enough to prove Jiang Chen's strength. After all, not just anyone could make a 4th heavenly layer Heavenly Source demon bow down to him. Zhao Xian and Zi left with the disciples of Kirin Province, heading towards the Crimson Middle region. They soon disappeared into the Hurricane Sky region. Jiang Chen played with the jade token in his hand as the corner of his lips curled up. He mumbled, Kirin Province, country of Lin. Very good. Let's start our journey to the Crimson Middle region from Kirin Province. Little Chinzi, I never thought that the country of Lin would be so powerful in the Crimson Middle region. Looks like it won't be easy for us to defeat the fake Empress. De Huang Dog said. That's right. The fake Empress was able to kill the real Empress, which shows how resourceful she is. With the Feather Clan's personality, they'll definitely have a long reach if they want to destroy the country of Lin. It's not as simple as just impersonating the Empress. If I'm not wrong, the Feather Clan's hands have already reached the 4 prefectures and 1 camp. There's no lack of people impersonating the Empress in Kirin Province. Jiang Chen's eyes overflowed with coldness. With his wisdom, he could guess many things. The current Lin country seemed to be strong, but the internal structure of the country had already started to crumble. The Yu clan's strength had probably infiltrated the country. Once they infiltrated too deeply, it would definitely be devastating to the country of Lin and the entire human race. Even the emperor of the country of Lin would be in danger at any time. After all, he had the empress by his side. Just like Xie Yunpeng, when the white fox hid beside him, it almost took his life. Although Jiang Chen hadn't arrived at the Red Middle region yet, he couldn't help but worry. The human race in the Red Middle region was definitely not as powerful as it seemed. It was like a tall building. Its foundation was being destroyed secretly. No matter how luxurious it looked on the outside, it would collapse once it reached a certain point. The crisis of the human race had already begun when Jiang Chen found out that the country of Lin was the ruler of the human race. Currently, in the entire country of Lin, Jiang Chen was the only one who knew about the crisis of the country of Lin. The others couldn't see it at all because only Jiang Chen knew about Empress Lin's dirty tricks. A world of deception. Hee, I like it. The more I think about it, the more exciting it is. It seems like this trip to the Red Middle region won't disappoint me. De Huang Dog was extremely excited. This guy was also very smart. If Jiang Chen could think of something, he could naturally think of it too. Basically, he could confirm that the trip to the Red Middle region was destined to be extraordinary, whether it was in Kirin province, the country of Lin, the Feather Clan, or the Elves. Master. The Black King passed the fourth heavenly layer heavenly source wind origin he had obtained from saving Zhao Xian in the hurricane formation to Jiang Chen. The Black King was undoubtedly the truest and most loyal person. Whether it was the deception of the country of Lin or the life and death of the entire Crimson Cloud astral boundary, he didn't care about it at all. In his heart, there was only Jiang Chen. Everything else was fleeting. Whether the Buddha army could regain its former glory all depended on Jiang Chen. Only when Jiang Chen continued to grow stronger would the Buddha army have a chance. Very good. Jiang Chen's eyes lit up. He currently had a fourth heavenly layer heavenly origin wind essence, a third heavenly layer heavenly origin wind essence, and a few second and first heavenly layer heavenly origin wind essence. Jiang Chen only kept the fourth heavenly layer heavenly origin wind essence and gave the rest to De Huang Dog, Xiao Long, and the Black King. Big brother, with so much wind origin energy, I should be able to reach the heavenly source stage, right? Xiao Long said excitedly. We're still a little short, but it doesn't matter. There's still enough time in the heavenly hurricane region. We'll just leave after we reach the heavenly source stage. Let's refine the wind origin first. Jiang Chen smiled. Reaching the heavenly source stage was not an easy task, not to mention that they were monstrous geniuses with deep foundations, making it harder for them to advance. Chapter 42-25. In the following period of time, Jiang Chen brought De Huang Dog and Xiao Long to roam the Dark Wind region. With an expert like the Black King by his side, there was basically no danger in the Dark Wind region. The strongest among them were at the fourth heavenly layer of heavenly source, which was basically the limit. With the Black King and De Huang Dog working together, it was a piece of cake for them to kill a fourth heavenly layer hurricane beast even within the hurricane formation. Another half a month passed by in the blink of an eye. Jiang Chen and the others had collected a large amount of wind origin source. Aside from refining some for themselves, they stored the rest so that they could sell them for quite a fortune in the future. On this day, Xiao Long and De Huang Dog advanced at the same time, successfully raising their cultivation to the first heavenly layer of heavenly source. The Black King's cultivation had also recovered to the fifth heavenly layer of heavenly source, and it was at the peak. There were a large number of fourth and third heavenly layer heavenly source experts in the Dragon Palace. What was even more terrifying was that the thousands of beasts in the Dragon Palace had all recovered to the heavenly source realm after such a long time. Although most of them were only at the first heavenly layer, this battle prowess was still very shocking. Jiang Chen owning the Dragon Palace was like owning a great treasure. He was leading thousands of demonic beasts. It was an enormous force. More importantly, the members of this force were recovering their cultivation base. That's right, they were recovering, not cultivating. Recovering was always easier and more relaxing than cultivating. To put it bluntly, the strength of Jiang Chen's 10,000 beasts was enough to establish a sect in any place in the Scarlet Mid-region. If a small faction offended Jiang Chen could crush them at any time. Big brother, Brother De Huang and I have both advanced. When are you going to advance? This heavenly hurricane region is so boring, said Xiaolong said. Not only him. Even Big Yellow was not as excited as he was when they just entered the hurricane heavenly domain. Jiang Chen smiled helplessly. It was normal. Life in the dark wind heavenly region had become extremely boring. Their camp was invincible here. There was no challenge at all. They fought with the hurricane beasts every day, and they killed them instantly. I'll reach the heavenly source realm in 3 days at most. The two of you should continue to work hard. By the time I break through, your cultivation should be at the peak of the first heavenly layer. Jiang Chen said. All right. Xiaolong nodded and continued to cultivate diligently while fighting the hurricane beasts. Compared to Xiaolong and a Huang dog, Jiang Chen's foundation was far too strong. The amount of energy required for each breakthrough was several times or even dozens of times that of an ordinary person. 3 days later, Jiang Chen's momentum skyrocketed. He had successfully reached the heavenly source realm, while Xiaolong and a Huang dog had reached the peak of the first heavenly layer. They were only a step away from the second heavenly layer. What was even more surprising was that the Black King had reached the 6th heavenly layer, which surprised Jiang Chen greatly. He could not help but sigh. Black King, if I may be so bold as to ask, what was your cultivation at your peak? Asked Jiang Chen. I can flatten the Crimson Afterglow star domain alone. The Black King said calmly. It sounded like he was boasting, but when the Black King said it, it was as calm as water, as if he was talking about something extremely easy and insignificant. What did this mean? It meant that the Black King was not boasting at all. He did not take the Crimson Afterglow star domain seriously. Jiang Chen could not help nodding. The Black King's bloodline was powerful. He was indeed a superior helper. If the Black King could recover at such a speed, the Crimson Afterglow star domain would really be nothing. Bas! At this moment, the Buddha prison palace suddenly became restless. With a flash, Jiang Chen led the Black King and a Huang dog into the Dragon Palace. The door to the 2nd floor of the Dragon Palace opened. Congratulations, Master. Master has reached the heavenly source realm. The 2nd floor of the Dragon Palace is open. The Black King was pleasantly surprised and cupped his fists at Jiang Chen. Let's go and see what's in the 2nd floor. Jiang Chen's face was filled with excitement as he led the way to the 2nd floor. Black King followed closely behind him. It was obvious that Black King was extremely nervous at this moment. It had been 3,000 years. He really wanted to know if there was anything else that he was familiar with in Buddha Prison Palace. Was it someone from the past or something from the past? The 2nd floor of the Dragon Palace was shrouded in mist. It was different from what Jiang Chen had imagined. There was nothing here. There were no people or things from the past. A golden light floated in the sky, circling around Jiang Chen. Tao Law. This is a strand of Tao Law left behind by the Patriarch of the Buddha Prison Palace. Master is now the new Master of the Dragon Palace. This Tao Law can automatically recognize Master. Congratulations, Master. This is a Tao Law left behind by an Infinity King expert. The Black King said excitedly. An Infinity King was also known as the King of the Universe. This realm already stood at the top of the pyramid of the universe. It was the lifelong dream of countless cultivators in the eternal world. When an Infinity King appeared, countless almighties had to worship him. The Tao Law left behind by an Infinity King expert contained almost all the essence of the Infinity King's cultivation. Even if it was just a strand, if an ordinary person obtained it, it would be enough for them to comprehend for a lifetime. Even if they could comprehend just a tiny bit, their future achievements would be unimaginable. To put it bluntly, this Tao Law was too precious. If it were to spread, who knew how many people would covet it? It's actually a strand of Tao Law? Jiang Chen murmured. A trace of disappointment flashed in his eyes. This Tao Law was naturally a priceless treasure, but it was useless to Jiang Chen. Long Futu had his own great path. Jiang Chen also had his own great path. Jiang Chen's heaven-conquering Tao surpassed everything. When it came to cultivation experience, even Long Futu himself wouldn't dare say that he had more than Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen was the master of a plane and a world. This height was even higher than Long Futu's. At least in this eternal world, Long Futu wasn't number one. There were still people who could destroy him. On the other hand, Jiang Chen was truly the only one in other planes. No one was his opponent. Jiang Chen's great path was above heaven and earth. Moreover, Jiang Chen cultivated his own great path. It was impossible for him to integrate the Tao Law of others. This would seriously affect his future path of cultivation. Therefore, this Tao Law was truly useless to Jiang Chen. Black King, I will give this Tao Law to you, Jiang Chen said. He flicked his finger, and the golden Tao Law flew towards the Black King. He and a Huang Dog didn't need it. Even if they found Long San in the future, Long San wouldn't need it. They both had their own great path. They didn't need the Tao Law of others. By comprehending the Tao Law of others, they were destined to walk their own path. Chapter 42-26. WH. What? The Black King's body shook. He, who had always been calm, was now trembling. His eyes widened as he stared at Jiang Chen in shock, doubting if he had heard wrongly. I said I'll give it to you. Jiang Chen smiled. He naturally knew how precious the Tao Laws were. Since it was precious, he had to give it to someone more valuable. The Black King was clearly that valuable person. First of all, he was most loyal to himself. As long as Jiang Chen said the word, even if it was for the Black King's life, the Black King wouldn't hesitate in the slightest. Master, why you're telling the truth? You're giving this Tao Law to me? The Black King's eyes lit up, but he still couldn't believe it because it was too inconceivable. What was this before him? The Tao Law was a strand of Tao Law left behind by the Eternity King. It was a treasure that couldn't be bought with billions of origin stones. The value of this Tao Law couldn't be measured with origin stones because it was a humiliation to the Tao Law. Let alone the fact that the Black King was only at the 6th heavenly layer of the heavenly source realm. Even if he was at the peak of the Star Emperor realm, this Tao Law would be a treasure that he could only dream of obtaining. What? You don't want it? Jiang Chen said with interest. Yes, I do. The Black King hurriedly said. It's just that this is too precious. Moreover, doesn't Master need this Tao Law? Who wouldn't want a strand of Tao Law? Only a fool would say no, and the Black King naturally wasn't a fool. However, the Tao Law left behind by the Dragon Pagoda was too precious. Its value couldn't be measured. The Black King was simply overwhelmed by the favor. He didn't even dare to accept it. I want to cultivate my own Tao. I don't need someone else's Tao Law. You can keep this Tao Law for yourself. Jiang Chen said with a calm expression. Thank you, Master. Black King received the Tao Law with trembling hands. He had no choice but to follow Jiang Chen because Jiang Chen had become the new master of the Buddha Prison Palace. But now, he was truly loyal to Jiang Chen. Edited by Lifer, Fingerfox. Not to mention the grace of gifting the Taoist law, Jiang Chen's indifference and unchanging determination in the face of the Taoist law made the Black King admire him to the extreme. In this world, how many people could remain unfazed when facing the Tao laws of the Ian King? This sort of temperament was something that the Black King had never seen before. If such a person couldn't accomplish great things in the future, would there still be anyone who could? Black King, stay in the Dragon Palace and comprehend the Tao Law. I will summon you when I need you. Jiang Chen said. He was about to leave Hurricane Heaven Domain for Qizhong Domain. It was better to keep a trump card like the Black King in the Dragon Palace as a trump card. Moreover, Jiang Chen could deal with ordinary troubles by himself. Yes, Master. The Black King obeyed Jiang Chen's orders. Moreover, Jiang Chen asked him to stay in the Dragon Palace, which was exactly what the Black King wanted. The Tao Law was too attractive to him. With the Tao Law, he could not only recover to his peak one day, but also have a great chance to break through to Star Emperor and comprehend the creation realm. Jiang Chen took Xiaolong and a Huang Dog out of the Dragon Palace and returned to Hurricane Heaven Domain. Jiang Chen was slightly disappointed with the Tao Law on the second floor of the Dragon Palace. After all, although the Tao Law was a good thing, it was useless to him. Moreover, the appearance of the Tao Law on the second floor was probably just the beginning. Perhaps the third and fourth floor of the Dragon Palace were all Tao Laws. Even if they weren't, they could be the legacy and inheritance of Long Futu. Jiang Chen was not interested in these at all. It was better to give Jiang Chen some weapons and source stones because Jiang Chen did not need anyone's cultivation inheritance. Big brother, can we get out of here? Xiaolong asked eagerly. Yes, let's leave Hurricane Heaven Domain and go to Qizhong Domain. Jiang Chen nodded. Hurricane Heaven Domain was no longer interesting to him. The three of them had reached the first heavenly layer of the heavenly source realm. Xiaolong and a Huang Dog had reached the peak of the first heavenly layer and could reach the second heavenly layer at any time. The greatest benefit of the Hurricane Heaven domain was that Jiang Chen's eternal immortal wind had undergone a huge transformation. Jiang Chen had absorbed countless wind essences. Now, the eternal immortal wind was unimaginably powerful, especially in a chaotic battle. The eternal immortal wind was invincible. The rest of the journey in Hurricane Heaven domain did not affect Jiang Chen and the others at all. The fourth heavenly layer great beasts did not even need the Black King to do anything. Jiang Chen could deal with them with a wave of his hand. To put it bluntly, as long as Jiang Chen wanted to, he could dominate Hurricane Heaven domain at any time and become the king of this place. However, Jiang Chen clearly had no interest in dominating this place. After passing Hurricane Heaven domain, they were not far from Qizhong domain. There was an endless mountain range in front of them. After crossing this mountain range, they would arrive at Qizhong domain. In truth, this place could already be considered the border of the Qizhong region. The Genesis Qi here was clearly much denser than the Qizhong regions and Qizhong South regions, a difference of at least 10 times. Moreover, this was only the border of the Qizhong region. It was easy to imagine how much denser the Genesis Qi would be at the center of the Qizhong region, such as Qilin Manor, would be at least 10 times denser. Before Jiang Chen could heave a sigh of relief after leaving the hurricane domain, an overwhelming pressure came from all directions. More than a dozen incomparably powerful figures appeared at the same time. All of their powerful qi converged into a gigantic energy net, shrouding the three of them within it. Edited by Lifer, Fingerfox, damn it, these damned bastards just won't go away. De Huang Dog almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Couldn't they take a breather? They had just left Hurricane Heaven domain, and before they could catch their breaths, the encirclement had already arrived. That's right. There were more than a dozen figures. Although they didn't have wings on their backs, Jiang Chen and Big Yellow had dealt with the feather race before. They could tell that these people were from the feather race at first glance as the qi of feather race was too strong. Jiang Chen's eyes turned cold. Although he had expected to be targeted by the feather race in Qizhong domain, he had still underestimated them. They had actually set up an ambush here in advance, waiting for him to arrive. It seemed that the feather race had really put in a lot of effort to kill him. 10 third-layer Heavenly Source Experts, 3 fourth-layer Heavenly Source Experts, and 1 fifth-layer Heavenly Source Expert. The feather race really thought highly of him. Unfortunately, the feather race's understanding of him was still lacking. Jiang Chen had already grown to a level where they could not match up to him. You're Jiang Chen. In the sky, a fifth-layer Heavenly Source old man stood with his hands behind his back. Lang Lang stared at Jiang Chen and the others. That's right. A man and a dog. That's what the Qizhong domain sent us. Chapter 42-27. Big Brother. This group of birdmen looks very strong. Xiaolong rubbed his nose and said. As the saying goes, one takes on the color of one's company. Xiaolong had been with De Huang Dog for a long time, so even his tone had almost been assimilated. At this moment, Xiaolong and De Huang Dog's qi had burst out, and they were ready to attack at any time. They both knew very well that the grievances between them and the winged men could never be resolved. They were destined to be mortal enemies. As long as they met, one of them would definitely die. That's right. I'm Jiang Chen. I'm very curious. How did you know about me? How did you make preparations here in advance? Jiang Chen was very interested. He was indeed a little curious about the ability of the winged men. We naturally have our own methods. You don't need to know this. You only need to know that today is the day you die. If you had stayed in the Red East region and not come here, we wouldn't have been able to kill you. Now that you've come to die, you should be ready to be killed. The winged man elder said shamelessly, as if he was confident that he could defeat Jiang Chen. So confident? Aren't you afraid that I will release thousands of demons to drown you? Jiang Chen sneered. The winged men wanted to kill him, but they were too confident. Not to mention that his strength had improved to the point where he was not afraid of anything. It would not be easy for these winged men to kill him once all the demons in the Dragon Palace were released. Thousands of demons? Haha, Jiang Chen, I don't know what method you used to summon so many demonic beasts, but those are all demonic beasts from the Scarlet East region. Do you really think you can bring all of them to the Scarlet Mid region? The elder burst into laughter because he thought that Jiang Chen was completely joking. He already knew that the winged men in the Red East region were killed by the thousands of demons controlled by Jiang Chen. However, he didn't go to the scene, so he didn't know where the thousands of demons came from. According to the logic of a normal person, the fact that Jiang Chen could control the demon beasts in Red Middle Region only meant that he had the ability to do so, but it didn't mean that he could bring the demon beasts to Red Middle Region. Therefore, the winged men had sent these people to kill Jiang Chen. Was this not enough to deal with Jiang Chen? As for the thousands of demons controlled by Jiang Chen, the winged men did not even consider them. You've said a lot, but don't you think that you can kill me with just these demons? Jiang Chen said. Since the opponent didn't know much about the situation of the myriad of demons, there was no need for him to say anything more. The army of the myriad of demons in the Dragon Palace was Jiang Chen's trump card. Under normal circumstances, he wouldn't expose it. Moreover, Jiang Chen didn't plan to use the demonic beasts in the Dragon Palace to deal with these wingmen. The Winged Man Army Jiang Man Tian. Man Jiang. Winged Men Man. Man. Just you? The old man could not help laughing. Yes, just me. Jiang Chen nodded seriously. With a sway of his body, he turned into a dragon. With his current strength, he had to turn into a dragon if he wanted to deal with a fifth heavenly layer heavenly source expert. Transformation technique? The old man was stunned. Feeling the powerful aura from Jiang Chen, he could not help but become serious. Of course, he was only a little more serious. He still did not take Jiang Chen seriously. After all, Jiang Chen was only at the second heavenly layer in his eyes. No matter how strong he was, how strong could he be? The Feather Race had only received news from the Crimson East region that Jiang Chen had led countless demonic beasts to kill the Feather Race. They did not know what cultivation Jiang Chen had when he killed the Feather Race. He looks powerful, but it's a pity that his cultivation is too weak. Any transformation technique is useless in front of an absolute gap in cultivation. The old man sneered, "Kill him." Asterisk boom. Asterisk a torrential wave rolled out. Spears appeared in the hands of a dozen heavenly source winged men. All of them locked onto Jiang Chen's presence. Their presences linked together, forming a huge net, not giving him a chance to escape. Big Yellow, Xiaolong, you two stand aside and watch the show, Jiang Chen said. Jiang Chen did not even blink when facing such a powerful group of winged men. He was too confident. It was a confidence that came from his bones. These winged men were not even enough to fill the gaps between Jiang Chen's teeth. All right. Man and dog nodded, retreating with De Huang dog. The man and the dog looked at the winged men in front of them with pity in their eyes. They were afraid that these fellows wouldn't be able to withstand a single wave of Jiang Chen's attack. The eternal immortal wind that had just evolved was the perfect target for him to practice on. Kill! Someone roared. A dozen heavenly source winged men charged at Jiang Chen at the same time. Even the 2 fourth heavenly layer winged men did the same. They did not want to waste time and wanted to end the battle as soon as possible. After all, the mountain range was the territory of the human race. If the battle dragged on for too long, it would be very disadvantageous to them. Eternal celestial wind. Jiang Chen did not want to waste time either. He immediately used the eternal celestial wind. Asterisk whoosh whoosh. Asterisk for a time, the wind whistled and a hurricane danced. A tornado formed into a hurricane formation, enveloping the dozen heavenly source winged men. Countless waves of wind were like sharp blades, unstoppable. Their destructive power could only be described as astonishing. Ah! Miserable cries began to ring out. The eternal celestial wind had become a huge formation, a domain of wind. Within this domain, Jiang Chen was the absolute ruler. More importantly, the eternal celestial wind was just too terrifying. With Jiang Chen's current strength, even ordinary 4th heavenly layer heavenly source experts would die without a doubt if he used the eternal celestial wind while in dragon form. That was exactly what happened. The 10th heavenly layer winged men were torn to pieces on the spot. Even the 2 4th heavenly layer heavenly source experts were no exception. Their bodies were riddled with wounds. Although they did not die, they had completely lost the ability to fight. They were slain by a single slash from Jiang Chen. The wind and waves passed, and the sky became calm once again. Jiang Chen stood there leisurely. His draconic form was unparalleled, but the arrogant winged men were no longer there. Only the old man remained. The air was filled with a strong smell of blood. The old man was stunned on the spot. He widened his eyes and looked at Jiang Chen as if he was looking at a ghost. The arrogance and despotic look he had before had completely disappeared. You That's impossible. The old man reacted and roared. Over a dozen Heavenly Origin Winged Clan experts had been killed so easily. This was just too ridiculous. If he had not witnessed it with his own eyes, he would not have believed it even if he was beaten to death. Chapter 42-28. Jiang Chen withdrew his eternal celestial wind and remained in his dragon form. He raised his head and looked at the old man. His aura had reached its peak. The winged race of the Qizhong region is also weak. Now that I, Jiang Chen, am here, the fate of the Qizhong region winged race will come to an end. Jiang Chen boasted shamelessly. He was extremely arrogant. The old man almost spat out a mouthful of blood. He was too arrogant. He could destroy the winged race with a single sentence. Even the emperor of the Lin country didn't dare to say such a thing. Yes, it's the end. Xiaolong clenched his fist and cheered from behind. F***ck. The old man rolled his eyes. This was the first time he felt that the winged race was so weak. Even a child dared to be so arrogant, not putting the winged race in his eyes at all. Little bastard. How dare you boast so shamelessly? I'd like to see how strong you are. The winged elder was infuriated. With a swoosh, 6 wings sprouted from his back and a beautiful spear in his hand. He lunged towards Jiang Chen. The old man was furious, so he didn't show any mercy. He wanted to see how strong a kid at the first heavenly source realm could be. Jiang Chen had killed all his followers with a single wind wave. It was shocking to kill someone at a higher level, but the old man didn't believe that Jiang Chen could fight someone 4 levels higher. It was absolutely impossible. Good. Jiang Chen stood up and the 9 extreme sword appeared in his hand. He immediately used the 26th sword. He became one with the sword and collided heavily with the old man's spear. Asterisk clang. Asterisk sparks were created in the air, and airwaves were rolling. The old man's spear shadows had actually blocked Jiang Chen's 26th sword without falling into a disadvantageous position. Jiang Chen's 26th sword was invincible. It was no problem for him to fight against ordinary cultivators 4 levels higher. However, Jiang Chen had just stepped into the heavenly source realm, while the old man was already at the peak of the 5th heavenly source realm. He was only a step away from the 6th heavenly source realm. For Jiang Chen to be able to fight on par with him was already quite good. So strong. The winged elder was shocked. He couldn't believe that this was real. He knew his own strength very well. Plus, he had exerted all of his combat strength in that strike just now. Under such circumstances, he didn't gain any advantage over Jiang Chen. It was a great blow to the elder's mentality. Jiang Chen, you're right. You're right. You're right. This guy's swordsmanship has actually reached such a high level. The old man was overwhelmed with shock. Jiang Chen's attack just now was too exquisite. It would not be an exaggeration to say that it was unparalleled. He had a slight understanding of swordsmanship, and it was precisely because of this understanding that he was even more shocked. To put it bluntly, if he was slightly weaker, he would have already lost his life to Jiang Chen's sword. Jiang Chen squinted his eyes and unleashed his powerful soul force to lock onto the old man's aura, not giving him a chance to escape. Jiang Chen? I admit that you're strong. It may be difficult for me to kill you today, but from the looks of it, you won't even give me a chance to escape. Haha, are you really that confident? If I want to leave, I'm afraid you won't be able to stop me. The winged old man saw through Jiang Chen's intention and couldn't help but sneer. He already had the intention to retreat after his fight with Jiang Chen ended in a draw. The winged old man was a very knowledgeable person. He knew that he didn't have the ability to kill Jiang Chen, so he didn't force him and prepared to leave. He would think about killing Jiang Chen in the future. Is that so? Then try and see if you can escape from me. I bet you won't be able to escape. The corners of Jiang Chen's mouth curved into a smile. With a shake of his arm, the heavenly dragon sword disappeared and was replaced by a battle spear flickering with the shadow of a dragon. That's right, the Dragon Bone Battle Spear, a grade 5 Genesis weapon that only Star Masters could wield. Jiang Chen hadn't had a chance to test the Dragon Bone Battle Spear ever since he obtained it. Moreover, it was almost impossible for him to display the Dragon Bone Battle Spear's power with his previous cultivation. It's a grade 5 Genesis weapon. The winged old man's eyes lit up, revealing greed and shock. He clearly didn't expect a kid who had just stepped into the heavenly source stage to possess a grade 5 Genesis weapon. How precious was a grade 5 Genesis weapon? It wasn't easy for an ordinary Star Master to obtain one. In truth, the Dragon Bone Battle Spear was only the first battle weapon Long Futu had obtained after becoming a Star Master, which was why it had become the stepping stone for Jiang Chen to obtain the Dragon Palace. Jiang Chen, so what if you have a grade 5 Genesis weapon? You're too weak and can't display the power of a grade 5 Genesis weapon. Who do you think you're trying to scare? The winged old man sneered before turning around to leave. He didn't want to stay any longer because he could already feel a dangerous aura from the battle spear in Jiang Chen's hand. Moreover, this aura was gradually growing stronger. Where do you think you're going? Jiang Chen's eyes glowed with coldness. How could he give the winged old man a chance to escape? He currently had 2 grade 5 Genesis weapons in his possession. One was the battle sword left behind by Empress Lin, and the other was the Dragon Bone Battle Spear. The winged old man was right. Given Jiang Chen's current strength, it was extremely difficult for him to display the power of a grade 5 Genesis weapon. If it was Empress Lin's battle sword, Jiang Chen would have to expend a lot of effort to use it, but the Dragon Bone Battle Spear was different. The spear had already recognized Jiang Chen as its master. Moreover, it was made from the bones of a true dragon, which suited Jiang Chen's true dragon bloodline. Jiang Chen didn't just rely on his own strength to use the Dragon Bone Battle Spear, but more importantly, his bloodline. Buzz buzz. The Dragon Bone Battle Spear emitted a buzzing sound, causing the surrounding space to tremble. The moment Jiang Chen used the Dragon Bone Battle Spear, more than half of the Genesis power in his body was instantly consumed. In the next second, it was completely emptied. However, this was also within Jiang Chen's expectations. A large number of Genesis stones were consumed. Killing a winged race elder was worth it. More importantly, Jiang Chen wanted to test the power of the Dragon Bone Battle Spear. Roar! A dragon's roar shook the sky. The Dragon Bone Battle Spear seemed to have come to life, turning into a blood-red battle dragon. Jiang Chen held the battle spear in his hand and executed the Azure Dragon's 5 steps. His speed was extremely fast, catching up to the escaping elder in the blink of an eye. No, the winged old man yelled. He could feel the aura of death. He never imagined that Jiang Chen would really be able to display the power of a Genesis weapon. The Dragon Bone Battle Spear carried an endless dragon might that practically sealed off the entire area. Ouch! The winged old man had no way to dodge. The Dragon Bone Battle Spear pierced through his chest, and terrifying energy erupted. The old man let out a miserable shriek as his entire body exploded into pieces. Chapter 42-29. Let's go, let's leave this place. After killing the old man, Jiang Chen immediately put away the Dragon Bone Battle Spear and quickly left with De Huang Dog and Xiaolong. Using a grade 5 Genesis weapon had caused a huge commotion and might attract some attention. Jiang Chen didn't want to cause too much trouble since he had just arrived in the Qizhong region. Moreover, Jiang Chen's current state was no longer suitable for high-intensity battles. Using the Dragon Bone Battle Spear once consumed a lot of his strength. Although he had a large number of Genesis stones to refine and absorb, it would take some time for him to recover to his peak state. 2 people and 1 dog were extremely fast, disappearing in the blink of an eye. In front of them was an endless mountain range covered in mist that stretched as far as the eye could see. Big brother, where are we going now? Xiaolong asked. Directly to Kirin Province, Jiang Chen said. Since they had come to the Qizhong region, their main goal was naturally to complete the mission. Jiang Chen didn't want to waste time. He had many things to do in the eternal world. There was still no news of his son, and Long Shersan had disappeared from the broken Filio land. As a top force in the Qizhong region, Kirin Province was more beneficial to Jiang Chen's cultivation. Jiang Chen wasn't interested in the remote border areas. After traveling for another 10,000 li and crossing a mountain range, Jiang Chen and the others finally entered the Qizhong region. A city could be vaguely seen in the distance. This was the first city in the Qizhong region. De Huang Dog and Xiaolong's eyes couldn't help but light up. Jiang Chen couldn't help smiling, expressing his understanding. It was too boring to travel for such a long time. Now that they finally saw a place with people, not to mention De Huang Dog and Xiaolong, even he wanted to take a look. Let's take a look inside the city? Jiang Chen looked at the two. Let's take a look. Xiaolong nodded heavily. Master Dog, I can smell the fragrance of wine. I want to drink. De Huang Dog shook his head. From the looks of it, If Jiang Chen wasn't going in to take a look, De Huang Dog would have to go in and take a look himself. Let's go then. We're going to Kirin province, but we're not in a hurry. Let's experience the customs of Middle-earth first. Shrugging his shoulders, Jiang Chen brought De Huang Dog and Xiaolong and flew towards the city ahead. The city was very magnificent. Although it was located at the border, the scale of the city was not small. This surprised Jiang Chen a little. He thought to himself that it was indeed the Red Middle region, the most central region of the Red Cloud astral boundary. Small places like the Red East region and the Red South region could not compare to it. Luohong City, these three big characters, as black as ink, hung high above the city gate, appearing very conspicuous. Jiang Chen and the others descended from the sky and walked towards the city gate. However, they discovered that there was a continuous stream of people rushing out of the city in a hurry, as if they were fleeing in a panic. There were no guards outside the city gate, which was not common. Jiang Chen had been to many cities, and almost every city had some big or small forces. As the saying went, where there were people, there would be Jianghu. Where there was Jianghu, there would be disputes, and where there were disputes there would be interests. The charge for entering and exiting the city gate was a considerable amount of income. Little Chenzi, it seems that this city is not peaceful. De Huang Dog, who was originally in high spirits, was a little listless. From the current situation, his plan to drink wine was probably going to be ruined. Let's ask someone. As Jiang Chen spoke, he grabbed a person. Brother, what happened in this city? Why are so many people going out? Jiang Chen asked. Little brother, you are new here, right? Hurry up and leave, or come back in a few days. There is going to be a fight inside. The middle-aged man said, kindly reminding Jiang Chen. A fight? Why? Jiang Chen asked curiously. It seems that little brother is new here. There are two big forces in Luohong City. One is the Luo family, the other is the Hong family. The two families have been fighting for many years, but Luohong City has been peaceful. However, I don't know why in the past month, the dispute between the two families has become more and more serious. The whole Luohong City is in chaos, and it is uninhabitable. Now, I'm afraid the two families are going to have a final large-scale battle. We don't want to be implicated, so we can only hide for the time being. When they have a real winner, we will come back, or go to other places and never come back. The middle-aged man said, then turned around and left. As he walked, he shook his head and sighed. Obviously, he was very disappointed and dissatisfied with the fight in the city. Disappointing, really disappointing. I was going to find a restaurant to have a drink, but I encountered such a fight again. De Huang Dog said, feeling very disappointed. Big brother, what should we do now? Should we go in? Xiaolong asked. Let's go, leave this place. There are so many disputes in the world. I don't want to get involved in this kind of fight. Let's take a detour and go directly to Kirin province. Jiang Chen said that he was not interested in the dispute in Luohong City at all. He had seen too many fights like this. It was like this when he first entered Yen City in Qidong region. Rumble. Just when Jiang Chen lost interest and was about to turn around and leave, a loud roar suddenly broke out in Luohong City, followed by earth-shattering battle cries. Waves of tyrannical aura soared into the sky. It could be seen that countless figures flew to the sky above the city and started an extremely fierce fight. The buildings in the city below were destroyed one after another. It was really intense. Damn, they are fighting so soon. De Huang Dog's eyes lit up. Let's go. Jiang Chen patted De Huang Dog's head. What are you panicking for? Let's watch the show before leaving. De Huang Dog glared at Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen felt helpless. This dog just couldn't move when there was a show. Just stand here and watch. Don't get involved. Jiang Chen said that he did not care about the survival of the Luo family and Hong family. Even if Luohong City was crippled, he would not care. At this moment, an intense battle had already begun in Luohong City. Killing intent filled the air. A group of heavenly origin experts were waiting outside the entrance of the Hong family. The one at the front was not the patriarch, but a yellow-robed young man holding a metal club. The young man's appearance was extremely eye-catching. His hair was half black and half white, and his face was extremely handsome. His fiery eyes of gold constantly shone. 13. Leave. This is a grudge between the Luo family and the Hong family. The Luo family has made ample preparations this time. There are heavenly origin experts of the 5th heavenly layer of the Luofu sect participating, and not just one. Our Hong family only has one 5th heavenly layer heavenly origin expert. The head of the Hong family, Hong Zhan, said, I, Long Shi-san, am a man of indomitable spirit. Patriarch Hong has saved my life before, so how can I just leave like this? Also, this battle started because of me. If I had not killed the 3rd young master of the Luo family, this battle would not have happened. There's no need to say anything more, Patriarch. Long Shi-san is willing to live and die with the Hong family. Long Shi-san's presence shook as his 2nd heavenly layer heavenly origin cultivation rippled outwards in a domineering manner. Chapter 42:30. Good. Long Shi-san, the Patriarch didn't save you in vain. You're a loyal man. However, our battle with the Luo family was bound to happen sooner or later. Even if you hadn't killed the 3rd young master of the Luo family, the battle would still have happened. You don't need to blame yourself. Even if the Luo family had 2 more 5th heavenly layer heavenly origin experts, it wouldn't have been easy for them to wipe out our Hong family, said the Grand Elder. The fact that Long Shi-san had chosen to stay and fight with the Hong family instead of fleeing at a time like this was more than enough to show that Long Shi-san was a loyal man. The Grand Elder admired him greatly. More importantly, Long Shi-san was an extremely powerful force. Although he was only at the 2nd heavenly layer, the members of the Hong family had all witnessed how terrifying Long Shi-san was. Long Shi-san could easily kill a 4th heavenly layer heavenly origin expert in a berserk state. With Long Shi-san present, the Hong family would be able to reduce their losses by quite a lot. At this moment, Jiang Chen and Big Yellow were still watching the battle outside of Luo Hong City. They had no idea that the brother they were looking for was preparing for a life-or-death battle inside the city. Outside of the Hong family, there was a formation set up by someone. It was an inescapable net that prevented any qi from leaking out. Coupled with the fact that many heavenly and earthly source experts were flying around in the sky above Luo Hong City, the entire city seemed to be in a state of chaos. Jiang Chen and De Huang Dog were not interested in the battle either. They just watched casually, paying no attention to what was going on inside the Hong family. The metal staff in Long Shi-san's hand flickered with light. On the other side, a group of experts from the Luo family was attacking. Aside from the Patriarch, there were 2 peak 5th heavenly layer heavenly origin experts, 5 or 6 4th heavenly layer heavenly origin experts, and 20 to 33rd heavenly layer heavenly origin experts. As for the 1st and 2nd heavenly layer heavenly origin experts, they had already begun fighting with the other members of the Hong family. This place, the headquarters of the Hong family, would become the most crucial point in today's battle. Hong Zhan, today is the doomsday of your Hong clan. From today onwards, Luo Hong City will belong to the Luo clan. The name of the city will be changed to Luo City. The Patriarch of the Luo family, Luo Lai, said arrogantly. Humph. It's not that easy to destroy my Hong clan. Do you think that you can defeat us just because you invited the experts of the Luofu sect? Hong Zhan coldly snorted. As the leader of a clan, even if he knew that he was no match for the other party, he could not shrink back at this moment, nor could he lose his imposing manner. What? Hong Lei, in this triangular region, do you dare to look down on our Luofu gate? A 5th heavenly layer heavenly origin expert beside Luo Lai spoke up. He had round eyes and was extremely arrogant. The Luofu gate was the absolute ruler of the triangular region. With such a status, no one dared to say no to them no matter where they went. Our Hong clan naturally respects the Luofu gate, but I never thought that the great Luofu gate would come to bully a tiny clan like ours. However, I, Hong Zhan, am not someone who can be bullied. Even if you're from the Luofu gate, my Hong clan can only resist to the end if you come to destroy my Hong clan. Hong Zhan angrily blew his beard and glared at the 2 old men from the Luofu sect. If it weren't for these 2 old men, the Hong clan wouldn't have been afraid of the Luo clan, and the Luo clan wouldn't have had the courage to fight with them. However, Hong Zhan was a staunch person. Even if he died in battle, he would protect the dignity of the Hong clan. You're pretty stubborn, but I wonder how strong you are? The other old man sneered. You'll have to experience how strong we are in a bit. The sword in Hong Zhan's hand flickered with light. He was already prepared to fight 1 against 3. Long Shi-san, I want to fight you and take revenge for my brother. At this moment, a loud shout suddenly rang out. A bulky man who seemed like a metal tower walked out. His body was brimming with vital energy, and his cultivation had already reached the peak of the 3rd heavenly layer, only a step away from the 4th heavenly layer. He was Luo Ming, a genius disciple of the Luofu Gate, the first young master of the Luo family, and the eldest son of Luo Lai. It was because he had entered the Luofu Gate that the Luo family had managed to form a relationship with the Luofu Gate. Come back. Long Shan must die today. There's no need to take such a risk. Luo Lai hurriedly reprimanded Luo Ming when he saw him step out. Luo Ming had just returned from the Luofu Gate, so he did not know much about Long Shan. However, he knew just how terrifying Long Shan was. Long Shan's reputation had recently risen in Luohong City, and the Luo family had suffered quite a few losses at Long Shan's hands in the war between the two clans. Father, I want to kill Long Shan with my own hands. I'd like to see just how powerful a mere 2nd heavenly layer heavenly origin monkey is. Luo Ming's aura shook, completely ignoring his father's advice. As a famous genius of the Luofu sect, he had his own pride. The moment he heard Shan's name, he wanted to have a battle with him to determine the victor. Not to mention, Shan killed his own brother. If he didn't take revenge for this, how would he, Luo Ming, be able to show his face in the Luofu sect in the future? As a result, he had to personally kill Long Shan in front of everyone today to avenge his brother. Only then would he be able to dispel the hatred in his heart. Then be careful. Long Shan isn't easy to deal with. Luo Lai said, Father, why are you raising the morale of others and lowering the morale of your own son? Just watch, I'll take the life of a mere Long Shan in less than 3 moves. Luo Ming's arrogance soared. He took a step forward and pointed at Long Shan. Damn monkey, come out and fight me. I'll kill you with my own hands. Luo Ming hooted. Are you sure? A smile appeared on Long Shan's lips as he arrived before Luo Ming in 2 steps. I'll give you time to prepare. I'll personally defeat you and then kill you. Luo Ming was extremely arrogant. Why do you want to die? Long Shan sneered. The Luo family had the upper hand in today's situation. Just as Luo Lai had said, there was no need for Luo Ming to stand out and risk his life. However, Long Shan had seen many geniuses like this. Since the other party wanted to die, Long Shan would not be polite. After killing the 3rd young master of the Luo family, the enmity between him and the Luo family had already reached an irreconcilable point. Killing one was killing. Killing 2 was also killing. I wonder who's going to die. Have a taste of my explosive killing fist. Luo Ming took the initiative to attack. His entire body practically exploded with power. He was a true strength-type expert. His punch caused the surrounding space to tremble. His speed was extremely fast, and his fist arrived before Long Shan in the blink of an eye. Even an ordinary 3rd heavenly layer heavenly source cultivator would be crippled if not killed, let alone a 2nd heavenly layer heavenly source cultivator. 13. Be careful. Luo Ming is a genius of the Luofu Gate. He can't be underestimated, Hong Zhan warned. However, Long Shan had a smile on his face. He did not care about the punch at all. You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.